Now, if you're looking for hundreds of beautifully illustrated monsters that you can use at your gaming table and at a fraction of the price of unpainted minis, the RPG Essentials Kickstarter offers exactly what you need. RPG Essentials offers a new perspective on fantasy gaming minis. These acrylic top-down tokens are durable, portable, and at a great price on Kickstarter right now. Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones. Immersive and dynamic gameplay has never been easier. Bring every encounter to life. Enjoy more engaging and tactical combat. Fill your dungeons, forests, caves, and cities. You no longer have to use coins or buttons or M&Ms to represent creatures in your games. RPG Essentials has monsters for every adventure. All tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different equipment or colors. They are beautifully illustrated on durable flat acrylic, so they are easy to store and carry. Again, all at a fraction of the price of standard minis. Monsters include 10 types of dragons, each in 4 sizes, hordes of goblins, orcs, kobolds, gnolls, and lizard folk, undead skeletons of all kinds, plus zombies, ghouls, and vampires, dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts, giant sea monsters, subterranean terrors, common animals, mounts, reptiles, and insects, NPCs, villagers, warriors, casters, and heroes from tons of different heritages, elementals, fae, and fiends, legendary giants, pretty much every creature you need for your adventures. Bring your games to life with 1,000 plus acrylic monsters, heroes, and NPCs cut to shape for easy and immersive use in your tabletop RPGs. Stunning tokens that are long-lasting, portable, vibrant, and perfectly priced. Back the RPG Essentials Kickstarter today. I know I'm about to. You might consider doing so as well. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to be talking about Wizards of the Coast's latest statement on the OGL debacle, all the things they're trying to do. I am a little sick, which is why I probably sound weird to you, and we're going to do our best today. I want to talk about their statement. We're also going to be fielding OGL questions in general. I know this is like probably lots of questions floating around out there. I know there are lots of people also making videos on it and saying different stuff too. So just bear in mind that what we talk about today is going to be from my perspective as a D&D fan, someone who actually loves the game, not like the Wizards of the Coast executives who are trying to destroy the game and are alienating all the fans by their sleazy, horrible, unethical, immoral behavior and probably illegal behavior. So I actually love the game, unlike them. I have spent the last 4 years on YouTube trying to help other game masters to be able to run games and stuff. My team and I dedicate ourselves to creating resources for game masters who run the game. And so I'm also approaching it from the position of a publisher, someone who uses currently the open game license and have done it. I've run big Kickstarters before. We've had 2 Kickstarters. We have a monthly magazine that we publish, Lair magazine, that uses the OGL as well. So I have 2 perspectives here. Someone who loves the game, someone who's been creating YouTube videos as a creator on YouTube, and also a publisher, someone who's now publishing stuff as well. So I have various hats I'm going to be wearing and various points of view. Please take that into consideration. Remember, I am not a lawyer. We do have legal representation. We have the very best legal representation. They are the pioneers in this whole OGL thing. Our lawyer helped write the original OGL along with Ryan Dancy. So we have good legal representation, but I am not a lawyer. So put that big grain of salt in everything we're going to talk about today. And just remember where I'm coming from, what my experience is, and who I am, right? I may not be right about everything, but I'm just going to tell you how I feel and what I think based upon what I currently know at this point. So there you go. There's my big disclaimer thing. So I'll be answering questions as well. So if you want to throw questions, my moderators are all going to be keeping track of your guys' questions. We're probably going to get a lot of them. Last time we were really only able to handle all the super chats that we got. So if you got to get your question in front of me, and if you must have an answer, I will always answer the super chats, obviously. But I'm going to try to get to the other questions too, because I know that not everybody is able to do super chats and stuff. So I'll do the best I can. I'm a little sick today too, so you're gonna have to bear with me. You're probably not gonna see the like oomph that I normally have, just because I'm dealing with, I have like a sore throat and some congestion going on. So, but we're working through it. And I did want to talk about that OGL statement as well. But before we get into that whole thing, we do have a few things that I want to go through. Some of them sleazy plugs, other crap that you need to know about, or that I want you to know about. First of all, we are doing a giveaway today. There is a link down in the chat, hopefully, and not in the description, but in the chat, one of my moderators will throw a link to the giveaway. So if you want to get, we're giving away a copy of Into the Fae or DM Lair Store credit. So if you want to get some cool stuff that my team and I publish, then you're welcome to enter the giveaway, and we'll draw the winner at the end of the stream today. Also, what was the other thing? Oh, we are raising money for, who are we raising money for? We always change the charity that we're raising money for. I think we're doing it for One More Child, I believe, which is a charity that helps orphans basically, and single parent households, like single moms and stuff like that. So there, if you want to, One More Child, if you want to donate to them, where our goal is to get to $500, we just started doing it. Once we get to $500, we are going to give a $500 donation to One More Child. And if you want to help us get there, you can tip. All tips will go toward them. Finally, I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, my awesome patrons who help support all the content we create. And right now, you guys, I am even more appreciative than ever for my awesome patrons, because their support is helping us go through this current situation. We're going to have legal fees. My team and I are spending extra time trying to figure out what we're going to do going forward in this OGL situation. And all of these folks support some of it's just like moral, psychological support, but also they support financially, and that's going to help us to push through this current fiasco that Wizards of the Coast is making so many of us go through due to their greed. So thank you patrons for everything you do. I deeply appreciate you. Also, I have these patrons. Hold on a second, where's my screen? These folks right here, they support what we do at an even higher level. So they get their names read out loud, and I'm gonna do this the best I can with my horrible sick voice right now. 5e Magic Shop, Aaron J, Adam B, Alex S, Amanda W, Ambers, Andre U, Angelique K, Antoine B, Art Soccer, Arutha, Ashley, Barban, Ben B, Benjamin P, Burncastle, Brendan A, Caleb, Carl C, Cheduff, Chad K, Chris C, Christian V, Christine B, Christopher G, Clay W, Coinslot, Colin W, Contrary Gravy, Daniel S, Danny T, Dap, Daz What Up, David S, Derek E, Doug, Duty K, Dungeon of Terra, Dutch, Ed R, Edward L, Mfrabo, Endorian, Eric B, Erno T, Fabian H, Flux, Forest Brew, Gabriel T, Gallist, Gene A, Jeff R, Goliath Cleric, Gravy Chorn, Greg P, Gregory H, Harlan S, Hilton, HLD, Iron Cascade, Izzy T, Jace F, Jackie Pizza, Jake L, Jacob K, Jelenko, James L, James N, Jan F, Jason G, Jeff F, Jessica J, Jim P, JM, Joanne P, Joe E, John A, John C, John H, John Pinosk, Jonathan V, Joseph H, Josh M, Josh S, Joshua W, Justin N, K, Caleros Nama, sorry, Keith L, Keith W, Kirby, Curryclaw, Kyle M, Liren Hart, Linda, Lord Pablo, Magna, Malton M, Manuel G, Mark K, Marty M, Matt B, Matthew J, Matthew C, Merle Palmed, sorry, Mike S, Merle Stahl, Mitchell, Mo 20s, Mr. Owl, Mr. Lonkanu, Nervous Glasses, Nessie, Nomad, Old Mad Mage, Owen D, Penguin Butt, Pork Chop Bacon, Prophet 220, whatever, Psycho John, Ramus, Randy B, Rebar, Renner C, Robert J, Robin B, Ryan, Sale R, Sakura, Sam B, Scott V, Sean S, Shadow, Shane L, Sheila A, Simfin, Snowy Tiggy, Son of a Sofa Man, Soul P, Soul Naya, Stephen T, Sturm, Tactical Tokens, Terran V, The Old DM, The New Bad Ombre, Thiago P, Thomas F, Tim B, K, Travelin, Cash Travels the Lost, Trinity Series, Tyler H, Tyler R, Unalloyed, Dying Warlock, Valagor, Vladimir S, Walt O, Will M, William C, XX Redrum, Yul R, Zachary J, Zeroman, Zombie, Tommy. Thank you so much. You can't walk on my keyboard. Squeaky. Ah, no, keyboard. Come on, buddy. Come on. You're done. You're done. You're done. He gets up on here, and it wouldn't bother me if he just hung out like here, but he starts rubbing his nose against everything. He goes for the cameras. He wants to rub against the cameras. He wants to rub against these cameras. He wants to rub against my monitor and turn my monitor around and stuff like that. So when he gets disruptive, he gets put down. Okay, let's hit quest. Oh, so actually, before we hit questions, I want to talk about a couple of things that were on my mind as we were looking at this OGL thing. So what I want to do is I'm gonna go show you what their last statement was. This is from yesterday. And Zoe, go lie down. Zoe, go lie down. Go lie down. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on a second. My dog now has tangled herself around my chair. Come here. Come here. Come here. Go lie down. Go lie down. She just ate, and so she got all excited now, and she's up in my business. She needs to go lie down and relax. Okay, I'm gonna bring up on screen their statement. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Cool. So they put this out yesterday. This is a screenshot so that I can zoom in and move it around and stuff like that. But this is out on their site, and lots of people have deep dived into this. D&D Shorts did an amazing little video about this, and he's actually gonna come out today with even more information about more sleaze and slime that's going on behind the scenes at Wizards of the Coast. And I cannot wait until that video comes out, because I'll be all over that. If it comes out during the stream, we're literally gonna watch it during the stream, and I'm gonna talk about it, because that guy is doing some amazing work to expose all of the crap going on behind the scenes at Wizards of the Coast. So that dude is, it's crazy, because D&D Shorts used to be the guy that just did kind of funny little, you know, videos about all of the absurd broken combinations, and now he's turning into like a full-fledged like journalist, going behind, you know, getting people on the inside to like give him information about all the crap going on at Wizards of the Coast. So anyway, go check out his video at some point. He's doing some amazing coverage of this whole thing. So I want to talk about this right here, because, and you've probably already read this and stuff. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I have a couple comments I want to make about this. I have two very important points about this. I have a whole other a few things I'm just gonna say, but two very important points. The first thing I want to say is Kyle Brink. I feel really sorry for this guy. He is the patsy. He's been chosen as the scapegoat. He's only been on the D&D team for like 3 months or so. He replaced another guy, and he's only been there for like 3 months or so, and now he's gonna have his name attached to this whole thing. And if the ship sinks, the executives who are actually behind this decision are going to push him down under the waves with that ship. So I feel sorry for that guy. I will say they got the tone a whole lot better in their announcement. Like their first announcement that they gave us just had this horrible tone to it. It just made me angry reading the tone. The tone on this one, they did a way better job of making sure this sounded a whole lot better, right? However, it does conceal, it's a smoke screen for some stuff, and it does conceal some stuff that's still very, very nasty. So they do a whole thing with an apology and all this kind of stuff or whatever. Okay, and then they're saying that, I'm gonna get to this stuff right here. I'm gonna get to this whole what to expect stuff, because there's some stuff hidden in there that's not good. Okay, they listed so they're trying to put out the fire right now, is what they're trying to do. They're trying to do damage control, and they're trying to get their name out of the press. Like big organizations like I think CSNBC, CNN, I don't know, some of these like letter soup news organizations are running stories right now on Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. There's a lot of negative press out there, and I think they're trying to put out the fire on that. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as like a like focus point of a lot of the stuff that we're going to see in here. Okay, so the first thing is they're trying to assure us, you know, they have this big list of bullet points here of all the things that they're not going to change and stuff to kind of reassure us. All right, your video content. Okay, look, that was never a question. We never cared about our video content because it's already covered by fan policy, and even if we didn't have their fan policy, it's covered by fair use. So that was never a contention point. So that's pointless. They're just trying to give us a big list of all these like benefits you get and all these good things, but none of it was a contention to begin with. Your accessories, for nobody cared about this stuff. non-published works. Okay, these contracted services, they didn't have a right to this anyway. They never could stop us from doing paid DMing, and they could never stop us from like streaming on Twitch or YouTube anyway. Like none of that stuff was ever in contention. They never had any rights to stop us anyway, and they're trying to assure us they're not going to do anything. Well, you couldn't anyway. Okay, your VTT content. Okay, that's great. DM's Guild content, that was again never contention point to begin with. Like never. Nobody ever questioned it. They already owned everything to it, and they took 50% of the profits on it anyway. I'm sorry, not 50% of the profits. They took 50% up front off DM's Guild. Okay, they didn't take the profits. They took the gross revenue, 50% cut. Boom. Right? So that was never a contention though. All right. Your revenue. Okay, there will be no royalty or financial reporting requirements. Well, that's great. You know, thank you. Your ownership of the content. You will still own your content with no license back requirements. Well, you know, that's what's interesting about this is you can still own something, or somebody else might be able to still use something that you own. So we'll have to see the actual language in it. But the thing I want to kind of focus on right here is your OGL 1.0a content, like this guy right here, this line. Nothing will impact any content you have published, past tense, right? Past perfect, actually. You have published, or actually, I think it's present perfect. I think it's present perfect, sorry. English teacher was like years ago. Under OGL 1.0a, that will always be licensed under OGL 1.0a. Look, we never questioned the past stuff. All we ever cared about was going forward. So this is a big nothing burger, right? Like we don't care about the past content. We know that that's covered. It's already been published, all right? We want to know about going forward. So they still, and here's the thing too, you guys, our principal concern, all of their big list was never a problem really. The principal concern of almost every single publisher is OGL version 1.0a and being able to use it for future publications. That's almost all we really cared about. That's pretty much everything. A lot of this other stuff on here was never being contended anyway, right? All we cared about was being able to use 1.0a OGL going forward. That's it. And they haven't talked about that, right? They gave us a big list of stuff we don't care about for the most part, right? And then they still don't talk about the very thing that we care about. Okay, but we're not done. Let's go back to this, because that's the first thing. They're not addressing the actual concern. Squeaky, you're done because you're bothering me now. He was good when he was just sitting here as my co-pilot, but then he wanted to start driving, and then he's gonna have to go down for that. Okay, give me a drink here. This is tea, by the way. You can see the little thing hanging here. I'm not like downing strong alcoholic beverages here. I actually don't drink almost any alcohol at all right now. Anyway, that's not the point. What was I gonna say about this? So here's the thing though. Here's what they're doing, okay? There's a couple of important things that they're doing. First of all, the first thing I want to talk about is they are using a psychological technique called anchoring. Anchoring. If any of you have ever negotiated a salary for a job, you may be familiar with anchoring. All right, I'm gonna go full screen for this while I explain this. So this is how anchoring works. If you're negotiating for a salary for a job, you're almost always in your interview, your employer is gonna ask you, or your future employer, your prospective employer is gonna ask you, what kind of salary you're looking for. Well, you don't just say, I want $100,000. That doesn't work because they're gonna end up giving you $80,000. So the psychological negotiation technique of anchoring works like this. You say something along the lines of, well, most people in a position similar to mine make somewhere around $150,000, but that might go down to somewhere around $130,000. Okay, so we anchor them at $150,000, but then we also mention that they, might just make, $130,000 too, right? And so we anchor their thoughts at 150, and then when we say 130, right, they're like, oh man, that's a lot less than 150. Well, shoot, you might end up negotiating based on that anchor. You might get like 135 potentially, or just 130. The thing is you actually set your bottom tier that you mentioned as what you really want, right? The 150 is to kind of shock them a little bit, right? So that when you actually propose what you really want, the 130, they're much more receptive to it. That's the psychological negotiation technique of anchoring, okay? So you end up getting 130,000 for a job where you if you said 100,000, you would have probably gotten 80 or something. Okay, so that's a thing in salary negotiations when you're like interviewing and stuff. The same concept is being applied right now. Wizards is relying on this same thing, this anchoring strategy, because here's what they did, you guys. When they gave us, when the leaks of the draft document originally came out, and it wasn't a draft, it was the actual thing. That original document was so atrociously bad. It was so atrociously bad. Wizards of the Coast knew that no one would accept it. They knew that it was a non-starter. They knew that. Nobody would ever sign that thing. Nobody is signing that thing because that was their anchor. They wanted the original deal, the original OGL 1.1, which they're now calling 2.0, probably to subvert Google traffic of, 1.1 being so big. I don't know. But anyway, they're calling it 2.0 now. So they set that as their anchor. It was so bad, they wanted people to fixate on that. Holy crap, it's horrible. Royalties, and they can use our stuff and all of this. It's like, that's the anchor. That's the psychological anchor. And now what they're doing, they're backing off on that. They're backing off. They want us to be so afraid of the original thing that as they back off on a lot of these different things, we're now more receptive to what they're actually going to propose to us, which is probably what they wanted all along. Do you really think for a moment, that Wizards of the Coast cared about royalties? Do you think they did? Royalties over $750,000? And they're only taking a royalty on what's over $750,000. There aren't that many companies that make much more than that. And even if you did a 25% royalty on that, compared to what Wizards of the Coast themselves makes, is a drop in the bucket. It's like nothing. It's like nothing. So do you really think they cared about royalties? Do you think they really care about owning our content and being able to use it in their publications? I doubt it. I don't think they care about that stuff. They have their own teams making stuff. Now, of course, a lot of the stuff that, other content creators make tends to be better than what Wizards of the Coast makes, so I think they got a problem that needs to be handled there. But I don't think they care about those things. I think a lot of the stuff that we saw in the original OGL that they came out that was leaked were things they didn't care about. That was their anchor, and they wanted to shock and awe us so that we'd be terrified of that document, of that original OGL. And now they're backing off. Now they're backing off and they're saying, you know what, guys, forget about that royalty. It's okay. We're not gonna do the royalty thing. And that whole license back thing and owning your work, we're not gonna do that either. We're gonna work with you, we're listening to you, we're gonna negotiate with you. We've heard your feedback on this and we're really, really sorry. And now we're gonna give you an OGL 2.0 that's way better than the original one, and we're really sorry. And so that's what they're gonna do. Now that they've anchored us and we're afraid of what it could have been, we're so much more receptive to these new terms that they're gonna be putting out, which are going to be better than the first ones that came out. And that's the entire point. That was the entire point. It's kind of like, it's like this. Here's the example I gave my friend Ed and I. Ed's on our team. He's our lead developer. Ed and I were talking yesterday, and I gave him this analogy. I said, Ed, this is what they're doing basically. It's kind of like you're getting robbed, and somebody has a gun to your head, and they're like, I'm gonna shoot you in the head, and you're gonna die. You have 5 seconds. Are you ready? And then you're like, no, please, right? And then they're like, okay, you know what? Okay, fine. I'm not gonna shoot you in the head and kill you. I'm just gonna shoot you in the leg, all right? And then I'm gonna let you limp away and live. How's that? And then you're like, holy crap, yes, thank you so much, here, please shoot me in the leg, right? Like, this is essentially what we're getting. Instead of getting shot in the head, we're gonna get shot in the leg, but because getting shot in the head is so bad, psychologically, we're more willing to take the bullet in the leg. Like that's the analogy here, okay? And this is what they're relying on. This is the anchoring technique, right? And so we're still gonna get crappy terms, right? The terms aren't gonna be that good, but they're gonna be way better than before. But here's the other thing too. I need another drink now. As I said, Wizards never cared about all those other things. The royalties, owning our works and stuff. They didn't care about that. Come on. Really? You think they care about that? They don't care about that. This is what they actually care about. They care about unauthorizing or revoking OGL version 1.0a. And that's all they've ever cared about. They don't care about any of that other stuff. All of that other stuff was a smokescreen. It was a diversion. It was misinformation to throw us off from what they actually want. They want to get rid of OGL version 1.0a because they want to kick out all of the competition completely, and they want to be able to divert and direct everybody to D&D Beyond, where they're going to have digital content, where they're going to have artificial intelligence dungeon masters, where you're going to have like a $30 a month subscription fee. They want to get everybody else out of the business of creating anything compatible and usable with D&D 5th edition or 1 D&D at all, so that if you want to play D&D, you have to go to D&D Beyond. That's what they want. They want to develop an absolute and total monopoly and get everybody on D&D Beyond. That is their goal, because that is where their strategy as a company lies, in being able to completely capitalize on our wallets in order to fully monetize the D&D community, right? That is their goal. They want us on D&D Beyond, and we are an obstacle. People like me, publishers like me that create 5th edition content are an obstacle to them, because as long as books are being published, as long as we're creating other resources, people are going to be buying our products and playing the game, and they won't need D&D Beyond, right? So they want to get us out. They want to monopolize. They want to kick us out. And so I tell you, I submit to you that Wizards of the Coast's goal from the very beginning has been to get rid of OGL 1.0a. And all of the other things that we're seeing are a smokescreen to divert us from the actual truth of what they actually want. And I will tell you right now, they will not back down from this OGL version 1.0a business. They're not going to back down from this. They're going to negotiate on almost everything else in the OGL and make it look amazing, but they will not back down on revoking or unauthorizing OGL version 1.0a, because that's all they actually ever wanted. Okay, so that was my first major point. This is all just a diversion, misdirection, so that we'll fixate on other things, and this anchoring technique that they're trying to do to manipulate us. That's my first big point. And then I have a second big point. Okay, before I give you my second point though, I do want to go over here and talk a little bit about the sponsor of today's video, RPG Essentials, because these guys are making
illustrated
an
monsters
amazing product that I personally have backed, because I'm going to use these in my game. Now, I don't always back unpainted Kickstarter or product that I tell you about,
Kickstarter,
but I do back and purchase the ones that I'm going to use in my games, and this is one of them, because these are going to be very high quality acrylic tokens, monster tokens that you can use in your games. Now,
portable, and at a great price.
The person who made these, Daryl T. Jones, is an acclaimed
Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator,
so that means that they're waterproof, they're going to be very durable,
immersive,
and look at
and
this
dynamic
thing. This is going to be portable.
Has never been
as well.
easier.
You can every encounter to life easier,
enjoy more engaging
and
tactical combat.
Let's pretend that you have to play your game in somebody else's house, and you don't want to take all of your miniatures.
You no
with you,
longer have to use
coins, then you have a really cool thing. And oh, by the way,
to represent creatures in your game.
Less expensive
RPG Essentials
than
has monsters
unpainted
for
minis.
every
so you get
adventure.
Unpainted
All
minis.
tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different painted
like
or
artwork
colors.
and everything.
They're beautifully illustrated on durable flat acrylic,
and
so they are
these guys
easy to
also
store
I
and
want to
carry.
actually go over to their page
Again,
really quick
all at a fraction of the price of standard minis.
I always like seeing other creators
include
be
10
successful.
types of.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Check these guys out. These guys are already, check this out, they're almost at $200,000 as it is. And you can see up here that I've already backed the thing too. But they're almost at $200,000. They're hitting their next stretch goal, which is to give even more cool stuff. Now, personally, I backed at the $168 level, because that is going to get me one of every single token that they make. And there's going to be like over 1,000 tokens. All right, this is going to be stinking cool. So I'm excited about this. And you know, if this is something you think you'll find useful, then I encourage you to go check this out. And yeah, there you go. And Squeaky's coming back. So I guess that's our cue to go back over here. All right, you ready to go, Squeaky? You gonna be good this time? You gonna be good? I don't think he's gonna be good. Okay, let's keep talking about this wonderful Wizards of the Coast thing. I gotta find where's my image? I wanna pull my image up. Okay, cool. My next major point that I wanna make about this. All right, go over to our monitor right here. Okay. This is where it gets even more insidious, you guys. It gets even worse. It gets even more just like so sinister. This is my cup of tea. You do not get my tea, Squeaky. You're gonna have to go drink water or something. Okay, so this is what they say. This is what they say, you guys. Here's what to expect. By the way, I am doing Q&A. I'm just gonna make this last point, and then I'm gonna start taking people's questions, and we're gonna talk, and then we're gonna spend the rest of the live stream answering your guys' questions. All right, so if you haven't already put your questions in, feel free to start doing so. All right, here's what to expect. On or before Friday, January 20th, we'll share new proposed OGL documentation for your review and feedback, much as we do with playtest materials. After you review the proposed OGL, you'll be able to fill out a quick survey, much like Unearthed Arcana playtest feedback surveys. It will ask you specific questions about the document and include open fields to share any feedback you have. The survey will remain open for at least 2 weeks and will give you an advance notice before it closes so that everyone who wants to participate can complete the survey. Then we will compile, analyze, react to, and present back what we heard from you. Okay, so this right here is an attempt. This is an absolute blatant attempt by Wizards of the Coast to take all of the outrage, all of the controversy, and take it off from Twitter, take it off from Reddit, take it off from YouTube, and put it onto their servers in these feedback forums, a medium and a place that they control and can essentially silence us. Now, D&D Shorts has been investigating a lot of this stuff about it, and some of the stuff that he's revealed that has been corroborated by other people as well. And he's talking with employees inside Wizards of the Coast. And one of the things that we've learned in the last day is that those playback forms that you fill out for 1D&D, and you know how are all those fields in there where you can actually type words and tell them what you think about the playtest? Nobody reads those. Nobody reads those. Absolutely nobody reads those. Now, apparently the numbers you put, like whether you're satisfied or unsatisfied, and you give like a number value, they do compile those and do like averages and stuff so they can see and use that information, right? But nobody actually reads the stuff you type into those surveys. And it makes sense too. Like thousands of people are filling out those surveys, right? And the team that's working on this product is like small. Do you really think they have time to read everybody's feedback and parse through all of that? I don't think so. So why is it, all right, now you're going down again. So why is it then that they have those feedbacks surveys? Because, and their management told them that basically if we don't give people some way to give their feedback, they're going to send us emails or they're going to put it online somewhere else and stuff. But at least if we give them this form, you know, it can go in there and then just we throw it into the void and nobody knows. So here's what I'm getting at. That's for the playtest material. What do you think's gonna happen with this OGL feedback form? What do you think's gonna happen? It's gonna go into the void. They're not gonna read that stuff. They're not gonna actually change anything. They've literally been ignoring our feedback on this playtest stuff and Unearthed Arcana stuff for years. My friend Ed has talked about how he used to do Unearthed Arcana feedback stuff and he would give them information and he never saw any updates based upon that, ever. They always, and we know too, experientially, you guys, we all know that when an Unearthed Arcana comes out, we almost always see it practically verbatim in the final published product. I've seen this before, multiple times. They don't listen to those things. What makes us think that they're gonna listen to this OGL thing? You guys, they already have a plan. They already know what they're going to do. They're gonna back down on every single one of those little things except for unauthorizing version 1.0a. They're not gonna back down on that. They're gonna negotiate down on all the other things and say they're working with us and we're listening to you, we're listening to the community and stuff like that. And they're gonna work, but they already know what they're gonna do. They already have their plan. They're absolutely gonna unauthorize version 1.0a. That's been their goal all along. That's been their only goal all along. And so this whole thing of getting us to fill out these feedback forms is a diversionary technique. It is a way for them to put out the public relations fire. It is a way for them to get themselves off the front page and stuff of different news outlets that's talking about the D&D controversy that's going on. It's a way for them to stop having big YouTubers cover them and constantly get this information out there. It is a way for them to control this debacle. That is what they're doing. They want us to get off from Twitter, off from Reddit, and off from YouTube, and instead go to these forums, which will just go into the void. They want to silence us. They want to quiet us down. That is their goal with these feedback forums, and they're not gonna read them, and they're not gonna listen to us. I 100% guarantee you, 100% guarantee you, they want 2 weeks where the forums are open, and then we can comment on them. And then they want some time to like think about it and make changes and stuff, okay? Basically, let's pretend it takes them 2 weeks to think about stuff and consider what we had to say before they get back to us again, right? That's a month, you guys. That is a month of silence that they're buying from us with this misdirection technique, this ploy that they have, a month of silence. They want us to be quiet for a month. They want us to calm down. They want us to take a chill pill, shut our mouths up so that they stop taking hits. They want us to stop talking about canceling our D&D Beyond subs, which I did so last Thursday on my live stream. If you haven't canceled your D&D sub, you should. A lot of people are deleting their accounts, which is wonderful as well. That is the only thing they care about, by the way, is canceling your sub and the revenue. All they care about is the money. But point is, these feedback forms, worthless. Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time filling out their feedback forms. Listen, keep putting it on Twitter, keep putting it on Reddit, put it in all these public places, put it all over the place. If you're an influencer and you make YouTube videos, keep making videos on it. I love my bud D&D Shorts because he's letting it all hang out there. He's exposing it. He's just he's all in, and he's doing a great service spreading this information and getting this inside information from people who work at Wizards of the Coast that is exposing all the slime and sleaze. You know, I would love to see more folks on YouTube doing these videos talking about this and spreading the word, because not everybody listens to me, not everybody listens to D&D Shorts, but if everybody is talking about it, if we're all on Twitter, if we're all on Reddit, we're all making videos and stuff about it and spreading the word about this horrible thing that they're planning to do, I think that's maybe gonna help. But don't be fooled by their announcement from yesterday. Do not be fooled. Do not be misled. It is a trick to fool you. It is 100% a trick to fool you. And they will not listen to that stuff. They just want to shut you up. They want to silence you. That is their actual game plan. That is their new strategy. Oh, we're going to work with you. Fill out our forms over here. Look at them. They shut up. Those morons. They believed us. I don't believe them. All right. We're gonna go to questions now. I've ranted. I've said my piece about the main points that I wanted to make today. So now we're just gonna answer questions going forward. Oh, I think I screwed something up. Oh man, when I was doing the sponsored message, I clicked the wrong button in my streamer, and then you couldn't hear me. It was like all garbled and stuff. I apologize. I'm a bad streamer. I'll do it better next time. Oh, okay. All right. I have information right now from my moderation team that they're talking about there's some new information coming out from D&D Shorts. So I'm gonna go right over to Twitter, and I assume that he said it in Twitter, and let's go take a look at what he said in Twitter, because it sounds like I might have been acting on wrong information. So I want to go over to Twitter, and we're gonna see what he said so that I can make sure that I'm giving you accurate information. Hold on, I'm pulling it up right now. I'm trying to find, I gotta search D&D Shorts, D&D Shorts. All right, I'm gonna look for this guy on here. Okay, I'm gonna go over to my screen. Where's my screen? There's my screen right there. And I'm gonna see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's just go to his Twitter right here. Where is this? I don't see anything. He doesn't have any recent tweets, you guys. I'm not sure. Moderators, what exactly are you referencing? Because I don't see any recent tweets from this. The last thing that I saw from him was this one right here, where he's saying that they don't read the surveys. Okay. That is the tweet. So what? It's in the thread. It's in the actual thread where he said something. Like, yeah, this isn't. I can't dig through an entire thread. Moderators, can I get an actual link to what you're talking about? I'm gonna need a link to what you're talking about. There's a tweet thread link. I need a moderator link. Please, moderator, send me a link. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't find it easily. I need some sort of link. I can look that up. Okay, I see a link. I'm gonna try to get that from the sheet somehow. All right, I think I have it. And now I'm gonna go to that link, and then I'm gonna show you on screen. All right, I'm gonna go over my monitor now. That's the wrong one. This is the right one. Others can confirm the sources I'm in contact with, but it seems that these insiders were incorrect on this unless more information comes to light. I'm still at a loss how two such conflicting accounts came to be. I'll keep you updated on the story and the whole story. Okay, so I think he's updating us on the idea of whether people read the stuff on the survey or not. So he's gonna confirm more on that. He has like an expose video that's supposed to be coming out today about this whole thing, and so we're gonna get more information on that. So and I trust what he has to say, so if he's getting more information, then he's probably gonna clarify things in the video that comes out today. So people may, okay, so now the latest is that people may or may not read what you guys put into your feedback forms in the playtest feedback. Okay, now that notwithstanding, I will 100% tell you that they still are going to try to unauthorize version 1.0a, regardless of what anybody does. They're going to unauthorize it. They're going to try to do that. That's absolutely what they're going to do. And they still want to silence us. That has not changed. Now, whether they actually read what you put into those forms or not is a moot point, in my personal opinion, because they want to silence us. They want to take us off out of the public atmosphere, right, off the public stage, and they want to silence us for like a month, basically, or more, right, so that this whole PR disaster can calm down. So I still believe that my points remain as I stated them. Whether or not they read that stuff or not, it doesn't change the fact that they're trying to silence us, misdirect us, and they're not going to change their original goal anyway, which is to unauthorize version 1.0a. So that might be a little bit different. Doesn't impact any of those points that I already made. Okay, now we're gonna start. We gotta do super chats. We gotta start talking. I saw some super chats at least, and I have other questions in the sheet here, so we're gonna start answering questions. When can we relax? Oh man, William, I would love to be able to relax. Do you know how tired I am of dealing with this? Do you know how tired I am of having to stream about this and make videos about this? I just want my life to go back to normal, where I was making helpful videos for game masters, helping them to run the game and learn things and improve in this. I want my team to be able to just focus on the resources that we made before, like Lair magazine. Like, I want to be able to relax too. I hate having to do all this stupid crap. But Wizards is forcing our hand. Corey B, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen what Demiplane has been up to with Adam Bradford's updates? Thinking about going there and picking up Pathfinder. I have no idea I don't know what Demiplane is, nor who Adam Bradford is at all. I'm sorry. I do know what Pathfinder is. I literally have books right here. I'm reading them right now. All right, we got to do, okay, here's some super chats. BD Blake, thank you for the $5 super chat. Yep, we just talked about what you said in your super chat. Thank you for helping us to become aware of that. Heather, thank you for the $5 super chat. Penguin Butt says, please check your sheet. Moderators have left you a message to read. Thank you. I did. I was talking too much and I wasn't paying attention to my sheet, obviously. Kite the Twin Blade, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Nice Soul Willow necklace. Opinion: has Wizard of the Coast changed alignment from chaotic neutral to lawful evil yet? Oh, they're absolutely lawful evil. Are you kidding me? Yeah, thank you. This is my. I have like these are like Viking runes, and I have every single one of them as a necklace. I think there are 12 of them. I have all of them, and I just kind of alternate which ones I wear. Actually, they're all in my drawer upstairs, and I just randomly grab one for like every stream or video. That's the actual way it works. I don't actually rotate. That would take planning. Actually, I plan out like everything, but I don't plan out the necklaces I wear. Wizards is absolutely lawful evil. They're absolutely lawful evil. They're trying to use legal stuff to totally screw everybody over. There can be no question that they're evil. No question at all. And lawful, I think they're being lawful about it too. It's interesting. That is the definition of lawful evil. Like if you ever need to like explain to one of your players what lawful evil is, just reference this whole thing and what Wizards is doing. Like, you know, it's somebody who is doing something absolutely horrible and malicious to harm others, and yet they are going about it following the laws, right? Following the legal structure that has been set up in society. You know, they're using that to their benefit to be able to screw other people over. This is a good definition here. Lord God, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. There will be no survey question that leave the OGL version 1.0a as it is. They control the survey. Why would they make that an option? No, I don't think they will. Look, they don't care what we think. You guys, these executives don't care what we think. They don't care. They have a game plan. It's been in the works for 6 months to a year. They have been planning this for quite some time now. This might be a little bit of a tinfoil hat moment, but it wouldn't surprise me if they've been planning to unauthorize the OGL for years, and they have a plan of how they're going to go about it. It wouldn't surprise me if all of this is mostly going according to plan, except for they didn't expect quite the backlash that it's getting, right? But I feel like they must have been planning this for a long time, and they knew that this was the next step. If we now that we have allowed all of the content creators, the publishers, to help grow D&D to where it is, now that we've grown on the back of their effort, now that we're big enough, we want to cut them out and throw them away and take the entire pie for ourselves. Like, this is their plan, and they've been planning this for some time now. And now is the execution moment. Now they're executing it. And so they're not going to stop with the version 1.0a. It's a non-starter. They will try to deauthorize it. They will. Absolutely. And so you're not going to see that question. And if they somehow put it in there, they're going to ignore it. And they're going to be like, you know, we've listened to you on all of these different points and stuff. We're no longer going to charge you royalties, and we're no longer going to do this, that, and the other. But the one thing that we need to keep to make sure, and then they're going to talk about like hate speech and discrimination and all these other things that are wonderful and great, you know, to not have those things in your products and stuff. And they're going to use all of these other excuses as the reason to like unauthorize version 1.0a. But the actual real reason is that they want the entire pie and they want to kill all the rest of us. Sadie of the South, thank you for the $5 super chat. What is the end goal of this atmosphere? Calls for boycott, refusing responses, etc., that would actually be a satisfactory result. So I think this is I think there's a happy path, and then there's a probable path. Okay, the happy path is that by some miracle, Wizards goes back and decides not to unauthorize version 1.0a. But I think that's the happy path miracle, and I don't think that's going to happen. So then I think there's the probable path. The probable path is that they're going to unauthorize it anyway, and it's going to have to be fought in court. And Paizo has stated very publicly that they're willing to go to bat in court over that. So that's probably the way it's going to go. So the whole business with boycotting them, with canceling your D&D Beyond sub, is to show them that the community does not approve, and to hit them where it hurts. These executives, listen, these executives are making and doing things. They're making decisions and doing things that are hurting many people. They are destroying livelihoods. They are destroying people's careers, depending on how this all turns out. They're doing a very, very evil thing. You do not, when you are a good person, you don't stand by and do nothing while evil executes its plans. Like somebody famous, and I forget who it was, said that all it takes for evil to win is for good people to do nothing. And so I feel like it is our responsibility to fight back in any way that we can. Any way that we can. Like you might say, listen, boycotting them, canceling your D&D sub, expressing your discontent, it's not going to change anything. They're going to deauthorize it anyway. So what's the point? You might as well just use their services. And I say, no, you don't do that. That's like saying, listen, there's Viking raiders heading into town. They are going to kill the men, rape the women, and take the children as slaves. That's going to happen anyway. So, since it's inevitable because there's so many of them, we might as well open up the gates and just let them do their thing. No, you don't do that. You fight. It is reprehensible to suggest that in the face of evil, good people do nothing and just allow them to get away with their evil plans. Even if you believe that defeat is inevitable, you still fight. You still do the right thing. You still stand there and go toe to toe. Even if it means you die, even if it means you lose, you still fight. You still do whatever you can to fight back in the face of evil. All right. So part of it is not just the desire to attempt a better outcome. Part of it is the principle of the matter. It's standing by what we believe in and not letting an evil company do horrible things without showing them that we object, without doing whatever we can in our power. Now, I can do streams like this. I can do videos and I can tell other people and spread the message. That's my role. That's my part, right? Now, if I personally cancel my D&D sub, which I have done, that was $5, right? But what can everybody else do? Not everybody else has a YouTube channel, can do these streams and stuff and talk about this stuff. But what can everybody else do? They can cancel their subs, right? They can stop buying D&D products. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody can do something to stand up against an immoral company trying to do something reprehensible. Everybody can do something. And so I think that the principle of the matter is that everyone who can do something should do what they can in their power to stand against the tide of evil when it's coming against you. Now, what is the satisfactory result? Like, I think that the most probable result is going to be that we make wizards feel it in the wallet. They're going to take a huge hit in the wallet, right? As just like, this is it, like these are the consequences of what you've done. And you're going to take a huge hit in the wallet and you're going to feel it for years. Hopefully we can set you back for years. Are we going to stop the Titan? Maybe not. But we're going to make them feel it, right? And then they're going to still try to deauthorize it, where it's going to go to court. Paizo's going to fight, okay? And Paizo's going to fight for us all. So, and maybe Paizo wins, right? Maybe they win. And then there's a huge, and you know what? All of this outrage and controversy and all of the different fans that are supporting, keeping the OGL as it is, here's the thing, you don't know what the future holds. You don't know what the results of your actions could be. If a good person decides to do nothing because they're not sure they're actually going to be able to help, and they decide to do nothing, this foolishness, because you don't know what your actions might have done, might have accomplished, might have influenced. And so that's why we stand on the principle of the matter and we fight and we do what we know is right, regardless of whether we feel like we're going to achieve victory or we feel like we're going to lose, okay? If we re-roll the world back, and you have some horrible person trying to dominate the earth and they have armies that are rolling over you, you might feel like you can't win, but you still fight with all that you have. You don't just capitulate and let them roll over you. You stand and you fight because you never know what the results of your actions are going to be. And so you do the right thing, you follow your heart, you follow your principles, your morals, and your ethics, and you stand and you fight. And that is what every good moral person should do when confronted by evil, all right? And I'm not exaggerating. What these executives are, they are trying to ruin and destroy people's careers, their livelihoods, and their lives. That is what is on the table right now. It's not an exaggeration. It's a literal thing. Like right now, I am a small publisher. I'm a very small publisher, okay? We probably gross maybe 500,000 a year. We're super, super small. And after you take away all of the upfront costs, all of the salaries, all the artwork and everything, there's a sliver left. Okay, so we are a very, very small publisher. Yet we still have 2 full-time employees.
And then we have other freelancers and cartographers and artists that we employ as well to create our products. Okay, so I'm very small. The DM Lair Publishing, we are very, very small. I just told you our team, right? And how many people actually work for us. We're a small team. However, this, if this goes through and we're shut down and we can't publish anymore, guess what? My 2 full-time employees, Zach and Sunny, I might not be able to make their salaries. If I can't publish anymore, they might lose their jobs and their livelihoods. All of our writers and freelancers, right, that write for us, they're gonna lose the income that they got from us, and they're gonna lose the opportunity to probably do something they love and contribute to this game that they love. And so I'm just a small publisher, but the impacts if I get shut down are pretty far reaching across many people's lives, right? Imagine if all of the publishers that use version 1.0a get shut down. The impact is even bigger. That ripple effect impacts thousands of people's lives and livelihoods and families, okay? So when I say that what they're doing is evil, I'm not exaggerating. It is abysmally, horribly evil. And that's why I stand by my thing of a good person, a good moral, ethical person needs to take a stand, and they need to do what they can, whatever it happens to be, whether it's making YouTube videos or whether it's going on Twitter or whether it's canceling your D&D Beyond subscription. Everybody needs to do what they can when confronted by an evil such as this. Okay. And now, on a lighter note, here's some cool stuff you should check out. Now, if you're looking for hundreds of beautifully illustrated monsters that you can use at your gaming table and at a fraction of the price of unpainted minis, the RPG Essentials Kickstarter offers exactly what you need. RPG Essentials offers a new perspective on fantasy gaming minis. These acrylic top-down tokens are durable, portable, and at a great price on Kickstarter right now. Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones. Immersive and dynamic gameplay has never been easier. Bring every encounter to life. Enjoy more engaging and tactical combat. Fill your dungeons, forests, caves, and cities. You no longer have to use coins or buttons or M&Ms to represent creatures in your games. RPG Essentials has monsters for every adventure. All tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different equipment or colors. They are beautifully illustrated on durable, flat acrylic, so they are easy to store and carry. Again, all at a fraction of the price of standard minis. Monsters include 10 types of dragons, each in 4 sizes, hordes of goblins, orcs, kobolds, gnolls, and lizard folk, undead skeletons of all kinds, plus zombies, ghouls, and vampires, dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts, giant sea monsters, subterranean terrors, common animals, mounts, reptiles, and insects, NPCs, villagers, warriors, casters, and heroes from tons of different heritages, elementals, fae and fiends, legendary giants, pretty much every creature you need for your adventures. Bring your games to life with 1,000 plus acrylic monsters, heroes, and NPCs cut to shape for easy and immersive use in your tabletop RPGs. Stunning tokens that are long-lasting, portable, vibrant, and perfectly priced. Back the RPG Essentials Kickstarter today. I know I'm about to. You might consider doing so as well. Oh. It ended. All right. More super chats. I gotta try to calm down too. Did you get the influencer letter? Nope. I have had no communications from Wizards of the Coast. They've sent me nothing. What did you think of the Rules Lawyer Pathfinder session? Saw the small clip, you seem to be getting right into it. Yeah, I played Pathfinder. I like the Pathfinder system. I was getting overwhelmed during that game. Let's just say that. A lot of folks knew what they were doing, and the pace was really fast, and I was still trying to learn the system. And so I think you saw me, if you watched the entire playthrough of that video where I was playing Pathfinder with those other YouTubers, what you're gonna see is they were all into it and doing all this stuff, and I'm mostly quiet the whole time because I was more talkative toward the beginning, but then I got really quiet. I was getting overwhelmed by everything. All right, let's hit some more super chats here. Funky Penguin, thank you for the £3. I appreciate that. Squeaky is happy. What, Squeaky? This is what he does. Look at him. He just sits down here. He's just sitting on my chair, staring at me. Kite the Twin Blade, thank you for the $5 super chat. The trick we can't let them pull is likely now they can't deauthorize. They don't have the right. But if we sign something giving them that right, exactly. And that's exactly the thing that I was talking about in the video that I put out. Squeaky, you gotta calm down, buddy. You gotta calm down, buddy. He's jealous. That's the exact thing that I was talking about in the video that I put out this Monday. Like, literally, like, legally, you know, it's questionable whether they can deauthorize OGL version 1.0a or not. And so Wizards knows that it's questionable. Now, it might still go to court, and it probably will have to. They know it's questionable. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to offer us a new OGL 2.0, they're now calling it, that has okay enough terms in it that people, like I said, that it's not as bad as it was before, and so they can trick people into signing it. Because in OGL version 2.0, it will absolutely have a clause in there that talks about deauthorizing version 1.0a, and if in agreeing to use 2.0 means that you no longer use 1.0a, that you voluntarily give up your rights to using version 1.0a by signing 2.0. And so yes, that's exactly what that's still their plan, I fully believe. And I was told this by one of my contacts who was he was involved in the original OGL version 1.0a back in the day. And I've had a friendship and conversations with him about lots of other things over the last 2 years or so that he and I have been talking. I only recently found out that he was one of the key figures in helping to put together. He wasn't like on Wizards of the Coast team or one of their lawyers or anything, but he was one of the people that was very integral in offering feedback on version 1.0a. Like in the review processes back in the day when they're originally going through it, he was one of the principal people that was offering tons of feedback and helping them refine the different things in version 1.0a. And so he's a friend of mine. He and I have been talking. I don't mention his name because I don't know if he wants his name to be mentioned. But he was mentioned by Ryan Dancy in one of Ryan Dancy's interviews on Roll for Combat's channel, like a week or two ago or something. I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something. But anyway, that's not my point. The point is that what he was telling me is essentially, look, Luke, they know they can't really deauthorize it, and so they're going to try to trick you and other people into signing the next OGL and have you voluntarily give up your rights to using 1.0a. And so I will never sign anything Wizards of the Coast puts in front of me at all, ever, ever, ever. Like, I do not trust them. I think we've seen the measure of how much we can trust them at this point. The cat. Nathan, thank you for the $2 super chat. Damning as a hag as a villain. Any tips for running one? Jeez. I don't know. My mind is somewhere else, dude, right now. Tips for running a hag? The biggest tip I can tell you for running a hag is that hags don't seek to just kill people. They want to corrupt people. They want to corrupt your heart and your soul. They don't want to just capture you and like kill you or something. They want to corrupt you. They want to influence you. They want to turn you to evil, right? They want to destroy not only your physical beauty perhaps, but the beauty of your soul, right? So when you're playing a hag, that is their true motivation. That's what they actually want to do. So think about ways you can work that into your game and your campaign. LH something official, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. This affects all fans, not just content creators. It does. And that's something else that I was talking about in my Monday video as well, this change isn't just going to be content creators, you guys. Everybody in the D&D community is going to suffer as a result of this, because there's a couple different reasons. First of all, there's 3 reasons I think that everybody in the D&D community is going to suffer as a result of this OGL change that Wizards is pushing through. First of all, we all know experientially, many of us, that the content that Wizards puts out sometimes isn't that good. Sometimes they have good content like the Eberron campaign setting. Other times they have ones that suck like Strixhaven or Spelljammer, where they just don't put rules for space combat in, right? Come on. So some of the stuff they put out's not that great. We all know, because we've bought a lot of this stuff, that third-party content creators such as Cobalt Press, or maybe you think that the DM Lair puts out stuff that's really good, but a lot of times the stuff that third parties and other content creators put out is better than Wizards of the Coast's own stuff. And I think they know this too. It's crazy. But yeah, so that's one way that the fans, D&D fans as a whole, are going to suffer. The other way that they're going to suffer is that there's a lot of Wizards of the Coast can only publish so many products. Like they only publish like what, 4, maybe 5 or 6 things a year. That's it. And so when you take away all the other content creators, the amount of products that are available for you are going to be shrinked amazingly. You're no longer going to have these amazing Kickstarters from Cobalt Press, right? Or from the DM Lair, or from other people that create this content. You're going to have like a few things to choose from, and that's it. So you're going to suffer in that regard. The other regard you're going to suffer in is that when Wizards of the Coast is deciding what content they're going to create, one of the principal things that they judge is the financial success that the product is going to have. And they only make the things that they think they're going to make money on, which means that a lot of niche categories, things that most people probably aren't going to be interested in, right? They're not going to make that stuff. But guess what? Third-party content creators do make that stuff. We oftentimes make things that maybe not everybody will be interested in, but there is a market for it, and we're going to cater to that smaller niche market. And so you're going to lose out on those niche products as well. And so there's a variety of ways there that every single D&D fan is going to suffer as Wizard clamps down control over who can publish and who can't. Prime Emperor, thank you for the $5 super chat. They say, if the fans are going down, we're taking Wizards of the Coast with us. I mean, I kind of want to. I feel like I was telling my team this the other day. We had a team meeting, and I was telling them, I feel like I've been absolutely betrayed. I feel like I've been betrayed and stabbed in the back. You know, the company that I've supported and given free press to for the last 4 years has now stabbed me in the back. They've completely betrayed my trust and just done something absolutely horrible and reprehensible to me and everybody else, for that matter. And I now want to fight and do everything I can to bring them down because of the horrible betrayal that they have handed out to me. And so, I mean, I kind of feel that way. I mean, I do feel that way. Pilgrim, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Divest. I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you're talking about going to other RPG systems, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people that are doing that. A lot of people. By the way, if you're wondering what you can do too, if you think that Wizards of the Coast is doing something very evil and you don't want to support it, well then stop supporting it. Stop giving them money. Cancel your D&D Beyond subscription. Stop buying products from them. And take that money and give it to somebody else. Give it to other content creators that are doing something you love. You know, go buy some Paizo books, Pathfinder books, go buy some Cobalt Press books. You know, they have a Black Flag project coming out soon. It's going to be their own system. Maybe you support that. You know, my team and I create products as well, Lair magazine, and we have Kickstarters and stuff that we do. If you support us, so take the money that you would have given Wizards and give it to somebody else. Give it to a company, give it to people that you trust, that you think are doing something good for D&D fans. Don't give your money to evil corporations who want to destroy what we love. Kite the Twin Bade, thank you for the $2 super chat. Their plan is to replace gross nerds with normies. I mean, they definitely want to go mainstream. They want to turn D&D into an online video game, basically, is what their plan is with D&D Beyond. And it seems like they're trying to cut out game masters as well. with their whole artificial game master thing, because we know that one of the biggest constraints that you have for playing D&D is that without a game master, you can't play the game. So if you can get rid of game masters, right, then players can play the game. And so artificial game master, our artificial dungeon master comes into play, which is one of the things they're trying to do for D&D Beyond. Now, is it going to be as good as an actual dungeon master? Probably not. But if you have a choice between not playing D&D because you can't find a DM, or playing something that is okay, maybe passable, you know, there are probably going to be people that are going to go with the okay, maybe passable thing. And here's the other thing. There are a lot of people that have never played D&D or other RPGs at all, and they don't know what the real thing is like. And if you don't know what the real thing is like, and you go to D&D Beyond and you have an artificial game master, that's the real thing to you. That's the game to you. Like, you have nothing to compare it by. You know, you have nothing to compare it by. If you've never tasted chocolate or sugar or something that's absolutely delicious, and all you've eaten was sludge your entire life, sludge is normal. You have nothing to compare it by. And in the moment you have actual something that tastes good, you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't believe I didn't know about this before. The same thing is true. As they bring on more and more people who've never played the game before, and they're introduced to artificial game masters and other things, like, that's just normal to them. They don't know that the game used to be so much better and so much more interesting and fun, more imagination, and just, oh my gosh, they have no idea. They have no idea. And so, yes, all of us who've played and know better are going to be like, that's garbage. But other people don't know. They're not going to know. They're just going to sign up and they're going to start paying $30 a month. Woo. There's a way to monetize your brand by charging people $30 a month for D&D Beyond. Pedro, thank you for the $10 super chat. Luke, 2024, we will have 6th edition. No, you won't. You will not have 6th edition in 2024, Pedro, my friend. You will have next D&D. No. You will have one D&D. The next evolution of Dungeons and Dragons. There are no more editions, my friend. I really need dramatic music in the background. There are no more editions. We are beyond editions. This is the next evolution of D&D. Yeah, you're not. That's their story, and they're sticking to it, right, Squeaky? All right. But yeah, everybody who's not a moron knows it's 6th edition. Do you plan on moving your games, your content to the new edition of D&D? No! Sorry, Squeaky. I'm sorry, I wasn't yelling at you. I'm never playing one D&D. Ever. I'm never buying any of their content. Ever. If any of you ever find out that I'm buying one D&D content, I need you to cancel me, unsub, throw your hate at me, cancel your patronage, stop buying my crap, because there is no way I'm going to support this company anymore. I'm not buying any of their crap that they want to shill out at us. And it goes for one D&D. I'm never going to play that game. One D&D might be a wonderful game system that they come out with. I don't know. They might hit it out of the park, and it might be spectacular. But I'm not going to do this again. There's no way that I'm not going to, after this sort of betrayal, to go back and put my trust in this company and start supporting them financially again. Nah, you don't do this. You can't do something like this and have someone like me who has principles and morals and beliefs to just set aside and forget about what you did to me and then put my trust back in you again. It's not going to happen. So I'm not going to play one D&D. In fact, I'm transitioning my in-person game over to Pathfinder 2nd edition. That's where we're going to play. I still run 5th edition for my patron group and one-shots for my patrons. I still have, see, here's the thing. I like D&D 5th edition. I like it. I think it's a good system. Does it have problems? Yeah. Right? Is Pathfinder 2nd edition better? In my opinion, I think it might be. But I still like D&D 5th edition, and I know there are lots of people that still like it. So I'm probably going to keep on running D&D 5th edition for people, for my patrons, for I have a youngling group that plays, we're running through the Icewind Dale book module right now. So I'm probably still going to keep running D&D 5th edition because and I've said this many times before, there's nothing wrong with D&D as a game. There's nothing wrong with D&D 5th edition. There might be nothing wrong with 1 D&D. Who knows how it's going to turn out? There's nothing wrong with the game itself, but there is something horribly wrong at Wizards, specifically with their executive team and their senior leadership. And that is what I oppose. So I don't oppose D&D or D&D 5th edition, you know, and I'm going to keep playing it for the foreseeable future, and other people probably are, and that's perfectly fine in my opinion. What there is something wrong with, like I said, is Wizards of the Coast and the company that's behind the brand, the game now. And so that's what I oppose. I don't oppose the game. It's a wonderful game, and people love it, and I love it, you know, and I've been able to now make my livelihood around it. It's a wonderful thing, right? Wizards of the Coast is the evil in the room, you know, that I oppose. Jayon, thank you for the 25 something super chat, 25 PLN. I'm not sure what that is. Thank you. Can we even trust Wizards of the Coast after everything? Even if they leave OGL version 1.0 alone? No, I don't think we can, because here's the thing. Even if they drop the unauthorized issue right now, if they don't change the language to say that it's irrevocable, they could try this again in 6 months or a year. Like, and this is what I talked about with my team. Like, we're coming up with a plan moving forward where we can get ourselves off from OGL completely, so that we can publish with confidence and not have to worry about Wizards of the Coast coming after us. So, okay, now you're rubbing against cameras. All right, cameras are that's a no rub on cameras. So what my team and I discussed is we can't trust them. Like, we have to get away from the OGL because it's too dangerous. There's too much risk there, and it creates a very unstable foundation for our company as publishers, you know. So no, we can't trust. You're gonna drink my tea? You're really gonna drink my tea? Will you get your nose out of my tea? Try to take my tea. This is gonna become a new thing on my live streams. I'm gonna fight with Squeaky like half of the live stream. Now that I have a bigger desk and he can get up on my desk, he's just gonna get up on my desk. Sean says, with you and your team's goal to implement a D20 variable system for future Lair magazines, will past editions be brought up or be made compatible in the future too? So here's the issue, Sean, with past content. There's a lot of work that would be involved to take everything from the past and rework it to get your nose out of my tea. Jeez. To be compatible or to use the D20 variable system that we're conceptualizing right now. And if I divert my team to reworking past content, guess what doesn't happen? We don't make new content, and that's a problem, right? And so the effort to update all of that stuff is probably only going to happen as part of Kickstarters. Like, you guys may know that we publish Lair magazine, and then we usually will have a Kickstarter that takes everything from Lair magazine and puts it into printable books that you can have, physical books. So when we reprint things, or not reprint things, but when we publish content in book form, then we're probably going to have to rework it, because, you know, we have to be able to have it in a form that we can actually publish and not get in trouble with. But as far as going back and updating past issues of Lair magazine that are out there, like the PDF forms, the digital forms that are out there, that's a lot of work, and that's just too much. We're probably not going to be able to do that. That's at least right now, right? Because that would take a lot of effort with an impact to future content, which is a problem. Bella, thank you for the £9 super chat. I appreciate that. What is going on over there? I thought I saw a bunch of like gifts or something, but maybe not. Bella says, do you have any advice on running a game with pen and paper for newer DMs who have never been in a game which didn't use D&D Beyond for absolutely everything? My entire channel is full of advice for running for DMs running games. Like, running with pen and paper is almost no different than running on D&D Beyond. You do almost all the same stuff, only you do everything physically, right? And so you just need to, anything that you would normally do online, you would just do it at the table with pens and paper, you know? So, I would have to think more about that to actually think about what the differences are that you would have to be ready for. You know, I don't think it's that hard though. You know, but I'm sorry, I don't have a really quick answer for you on that. I think you just do it. Like you do it, and you're gonna, in your first game session, you're gonna realize, oh, I need that. Ooh, I need that. You know. Luke, have you tried Earth Dawn? No, I haven't. Thank you, Doug, for the $5 super chat. Gamion, thank you for the $5 super chat. Tegan, thank you for the $2 super chat. DMs are the soul of D&D. No replacing us ever. I don't think you can actually really replace us. I don't think so. I think you could do something. You can have a choose your own adventure DM or something, but you're not gonna actually be able to make the same experience through artificial. Nah, it's not gonna happen. Brandon, thank you for the $5 super chat. I think their plan is to give the AI the voices of popular dungeon masters like Matt Mercer. Also, your homebrew on D&D Beyond would be used by the AI. Yeah, whatever homebrew you put up on D&D Beyond is probably belong to Wizards or something, or they'll have rights to use. You might still own it, but they'll have certain rights to use it in different ways. You know, because you're giving up you're allowing them to use it. You know, when you put it up there. Now, as far as having like popular dungeon masters use it, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you might. You know, I still want Critical Role to to just like completely leave behind Wizards of the Coast. Just be like, I know they have contracts, they have legal agreements and stuff, and their hands are tied probably in a lot of ways, you know, because they couldn't foresee Wizards doing something so horrible. And I feel like the people at Critical Role absolutely 100% are on the side of open D&D, and the people at Critical Role, I guarantee you, they probably despise what Wizards of the Coast is doing as much as we do. But they have contracts and they have legal stuff tying their hands, and they're gonna do the best they can. They're gonna do everything they can, you know. But when you have contracts and legal stuff, you know, sometimes it makes things really hard. So I really want what I want to see them do when they're able and when they could actually figure out the legality of it. I would love to see them just leave behind D&D and go back to Pathfinder. You know, Critical Role started out with Pathfinder. They used to play Pathfinder, you know, and then they transitioned to D&D 5th edition. I would love to see them. I feel like probably the strongest statement that Critical Role could make to support, like, you know, the community and to support as a stand against what Wizards is doing is to start playing Pathfinder 2nd edition in their show. Because here's the thing, you guys, like, their show, it's like you're not there for the underlying game system. You're there for the story that's coming about, you know, you're there to see what the characters are going to do. You're there for the amazing voice acting, the acting in general. You know, their show is awesome and entertaining, and people love it. Millions of people love it. But nobody's there because it's D&D exactly, right? If it were Pathfinder 2nd edition, if it were a different RPG that they were actually running, like, the show would, for all intents and purposes, still be the same show that you know and love. The underlying game system doesn't really impact what they're doing at all, the role playing that they're doing, you know? So I feel like it's I would love to see them just leave behind D&D completely and start playing a different RPG, whether it be Pathfinder 2nd edition or something else that's really awesome. And then just, that would be like the strongest statement they could make, is just like, boom, we're done. We're not doing that anymore. You know, even if our hands are tied by contracts and legal stuff, like, if we just stop running D&D, people will know how we really feel. Even if we can't make public statements for reasons, because of mostly legal reasons and stuff, even if we can't make public statements, like, people will know how we actually feel if we drop D&D and start playing a different RPG on our show. Like, that is like the strongest statement. You know, I would love to see Matt Mercer open up a Critical Role game, you know, and say, welcome everybody to the next evolution of Critical Role. From this day going forward, we will no longer be playing D&D. We're going to be playing Pathfinder 2nd edition. It would be like the most amazing opening ever, and I would love to hear them do that little, say, to the next evolution of Critical Role, playing on the whole thing about how one D&D is the next evolution of D&D. That's like my fantasy opening for a Critical Role show, you know, where they announce that they're leaving this system and going to another as the next evolution. It's like I'm just like fantasize about seeing that. It would be just amazing. All right, now I'm gonna see if I can get this right this time. Okay, cool. This right here is a Kickstarter that's out there right now that I think you should go check out. It is called RPG Essentials, and basically what this Kickstarter will give you is a whole crap ton of acrylic monster tokens, okay? It's acrylic, they're durable, they're portable, you get them wet, you know, they're just gonna last. And they're very portable, you can take them with you to your games. If you're playing at conventions, for instance, these things are amazing. Now, the person who's making these is Daryl T. Jones. He is an acclaimed fantasy illustrator, and he's done Kickstarters before, so this is not his first rodeo. These things are going to be absolutely amazing. I have backed this project myself because I foresee using these at conventions. I might be taking these to LairCon and stuff like that. So if you want to get some tokens of amazing artwork that you can use your game tables, these things are less expensive than unpainted minis, and you don't got to paint them. They come full color. And so you're going to save some money. You're going to get some really cool stuff. So there's like 1,000 plus of these monsters that you can get. They're super, super cool. So you can go over here to their Kickstarter. Let's see what they're at right now. Let's pop over here. Their Kickstarter now is they're approaching the 200,000 mark right now, and they're about to hit their next stretch goal right here. That's going to unlock even more stuff for people. They got terrain even. They're going to have terrain that you can put on your maps too. This is super cool. I am personally looking forward to getting this. I've backed it myself because I want to use these things, especially at conventions. I can see myself using these a lot at conventions. So there's a link down in the chat. There's a link in the description if you'd like to go check these guys out and get some really cool acrylic monster tokens you can use in your RPG games. Okay, we're gonna keep going through the questions. Oh, I turn my music back on. Music. All right, moderators, did it work properly? The last time I did that, I didn't push the right button and you couldn't understand what I was saying. Did I get it right this time? Did I unsuckify myself? Okay, cool. Thank you, Owen. By the way, Owen, it's good to have you back, dude. Welcome back to the moderation team. And also, Meepy. Meepy is our newest moderator. I hope things are going... There's Meepy. Cool. I hope things are going well for your first... Yeah, this is your first moderation stream. Sweet. Welcome, dude. All right. Jaspers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Why not put Squeaky as a familiar in one of your games? Oh, that'd be cool. I'll have to keep that in my back pocket. Gamion, thank you for the $5 super chat. Gamion, you keep giving me super chats, but you never put any questions in there, so I'm just going to assume that you just want to support what we're doing, and I do appreciate that. Pedro, thank you for the $5 super chat. I support your decision wholeheartedly. I will keep supporting your content. Thank you, Pedro. I appreciate that. By the way, if you guys want to support our content, we have a Patreon. There's a link here. There's a link down in the description and stuff where you can get some cool stuff to use in your games. 5th edition adventures, monsters, traps, puzzles, cool stuff like that. If you want to support what we're doing. We also have a giveaway going on as well. I think I have not talked about it enough, but one of my moderators will put a link to the giveaway in the chat. If you want to get a copy of Into the Fae, which is our first Kickstarter that we did, it's a level 1 to 5 module that features lots of Fae creatures. It's very, very cool. If you want to get a copy of that, or you can get DM Lair store credit, or you can get lots of cool stuff as well, there's a link down in the chat where you can join the giveaway, and then we will draw the winner to the giveaway at the end of the stream today. Kita Matt, thank you for the $2 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. William says, a question of practicality. How difficult would it be to run, for example, Dragon Heist from the book, but change it to Pathfinder on the fly? I wouldn't want to do it on the fly. I would want to do the conversion beforehand. I don't think it would be that hard. Like, generally speaking, you're just going to have to adjust like the difficulty class of different things, the checks they're going to make, and then you're going to have to, you know, look at the monsters, probably get Pathfinder monsters, and then calculate the encounter balance properly. But that's mostly all you're looking to do, and that, for me as an experienced dungeon master, that's not hard for me to do. I can do that, you know. So from my point of view, translating it isn't that challenging, but if you're a new dungeon master, game master, and you're not sure how to do those things, then yeah, that could be more challenging. Mo, thank you for the $10 super chat. Great job with Prophecy and Power. It helped me with simple tweaks that upped my encounters to be more fun, challenging, and eliminate the surround and pound. Appreciate you guys. You make a difference. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that. I always love getting emails and messages from my patrons and stuff that just talk about how our team has been able to help them. It really does make me feel really good to know that we're making a difference and helping people. Mo was talking about Prophecy and Power. That was, I don't know, was that our most recent edition of Lair magazine? It might have been our most recent one, or it was a past one at any rate. Anyway, that was an issue of Lair magazine where we had some cool stuff in there. Man, I'm starting to get really congested now. Like it had cleared up before the live stream, but now I'm like totally just, I'm sick. For folks who don't know, I'm completely congested, and my throat hurts, which is why I sound weird probably compared to how I normally talk. Pilgrim says, thank you for the $2 super chat. They're going to commit to lawfare in the end. Yeah, I'm sure they will. All right. Whew, we're almost to the super chats, and then we can... I got a couple more super chats to power through. Peak D&D, what's up, dude? How you doing, man? Who is that? I don't know. There's 4 of them at Peak D&D. I don't know who that is. It's one of them. Captain Vrag. Oh, it's Ben? Cool. Hey Ben, what's up? So Ben from Peak D&D, he's the one who does Dip Dugan in the collaboration videos I do with them. Like when I do my Monty Core personality, he's like the on-site reporter Dip Dugan. He does an amazing job at it too. I love that stuff. Captain Vrag, thank you for the $5 super chat. Pretty sure the D&D Beyond Artificial Intelligence Dungeon Master will simply run set adventures. Books will be a thing of the past, and you'll buy expansion adventure books for the VTT. I 100%, you guys, I have foretold this, I believe. I have a video coming out that is a parody of this. It's actually a video that I did with Peak D&D. It's one of our parody videos, satire videos that's literally about Wizards of the Coast not making books anymore. I have a feeling, I have a strong feeling that they're gonna stop publishing physical books with one D&D. There's just something in my gut. I might be wrong, you know, and I might have to eat crow later, but I just have this feeling that they're gonna get out of the physical book publishing business and they're gonna transition 100% completely to digital on D&D Beyond. And these are the reasons I think that way. First of all, as a publisher, I can tell you that physical products introduce a lot of complexities into your entire business system. All right. First of all, if I publish a PDF, I mean, I still have to create the content. I still got to pay the cartographers. The writers got to do their writing. We have the editors. We have the interior layout and design guy. There's a lot of stuff that that's involved in that, right? And then we make the PDF and we put it out there, and you have a PDF, right? But for a physical book, it goes even further. Now I have to create a special PDF that's specifically made for printing it. It's a totally different beast, and it has to be done differently, right? That has to get created, and then it has to go to the printer, and then the printers have to print the books. There's a cost for printing books. With the volumes that we do, and especially that Wizards of the Coast does, the cost for printing the books gets smaller and smaller. And so there's a cost of printing the books, and then you have to ship the books. You have to get the books usually from China, because that's where a lot of the books are printed, because they do a really good job. You know, our books right now for Lairs and Legends are coming from Regent Publishing. They're our printer, and they're located, I think it's Hong Kong, but it's over in China. and they do an amazing quality work. The quality of these books is insane. And so anyway, that's not the point. The point is you usually get your books from overseas. They got to be shipped here, and then they have to go out to distribution centers and warehouses and stuff, and then they got to get shipped to different places and stuff, you know. And so, and then the other thing too is that if you are selling physical books through like a traditional retailer, you usually have to give them a half off. So like if I'm selling a book for $50, like, and there's a physical bookstore that wants to carry my book, or it's a friendly local game shop that wants to carry my book, the usual thing that I would do is I would only charge them $25 for my book, because then they're going to sell it for the list price of $50, and then they're going to actually be able to make a margin on all of their costs and stuff, which is reasonable, right? So as the publisher, I only get $25 from it. Now, if I put it now, so when you're doing physical books, there's a lot of stuff in there that has extra costs, right, that eats away from what you take home at the end of the day. However, if I simply publish digital products, there's less work and effort involved, and 100% of the revenue goes to me, right? So let's put this in Wizard of the Coast shoes. If they transition purely to putting all of their resources on D&D Beyond, and they stop making physical books, they're not only getting rid of a lot of the cost and effort involved in making physical books, but they are redirecting 100% of the revenue to their site, to D&D Beyond, and it's all going into their pockets. They're not sharing anything with anybody. It's a digital product. You just pay your subscription fee. 100% of the revenue goes directly to them, right? They don't have to give people half off, you know, as they do with like selling traditional books. And so they can monetize the brand D&D way more by going completely digital. It's less effort, they make more money doing it, and when they have little oopsies that slip out, it's egg in their face, like I believe the Hazdy race that they published, there was some really nasty stuff in there that they should have probably known better about, but they published it, and then people were like, bah! And then they were like, crap. They can update a digital product immediately, but the printed books, that's already out there. I think it was in the Spelljammer book, if I remember correctly. That's already out there and they can never change it. But if it's digital, they can change their oopsies right away. And here's the other thing. If it's digital, they can take those products away anytime they want to. So, for instance, Volo's Guide to Monsters, like the old version of Volo's Guide to Monsters before they did Monsters of the Multiverse, they could just take that off D&D Beyond whenever they want. You know, if they have outdated products because they've made a new one that improves it, they could just take out the old one and say it's no longer available, and then people either have to buy the new one or it's covered under your subscription fee. You're paying $30 a month, so you just get access to all the content, but we can at our discretion remove content whenever we want. And so there might be content out there that you like that they can just remove without your permission because it's their site. You're not actually paying, you're paying for access to the content, whatever content they happen to be willing to give you. And they can change it anytime they want, you know? So I definitely feel like in my gut, I feel like Wizards of the Coast is transitioning to going fully digital. I think that's part of their monetization scheme. I think that's part of their company plan, you know, and they're working their way toward that. So for One D&D, I really feel like you're not going to have physical books. I think they're going full digital. One D&D, that's the future they're going for. So I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because physical books are amazing and nobody can steal my physical books. Well, you could break into my house and steal my physical books, I suppose. But you can't just click a button on the back end and turn them off, is my point. Lord Elthorn, thank you for the $10 super chat. I just ordered Pathfinder 2. Will 1D&D target the next generation of players and get rid of the paper and pencil TTRPG? Yes, yeah. I think I just had a little mini rant about that. Is that why they want to eliminate third-party publishers? Yes, and I talked about that probably a half an hour to an hour ago. That's part of the reason they want to get rid of third-party publishers by deauthorizing version 1.0a, is they want to make it so that if you want to play D&D, you have to go to D&D Beyond. They want to funnel as many people as possible to D&D Beyond to make money. And by killing third-party publishers making D&D content, D&D compatible content, they can basically put the quash on that and get everybody going to one D&D. It's like, you know, it's like if you want to eat hamburgers, there's only one place in town to eat hamburgers. You have to go to like Five Guys. By the way, Five Guys hamburgers is amazing. It's like my favorite hamburger place in the world. What's it called? Five Guys fries? I don't know. It's Five Guys, whatever. It's the best hamburgers in the world, in my personal opinion. And it's kind of like if all hamburgers everywhere else were outlawed. Like Wendy's couldn't make it, McDonald's couldn't make it, like your restaurants couldn't make it. Like imagine if Five Guys was the only place where you could get hamburgers. Then everybody, if you want a hamburger, you have to go there, right? It's kind of the same thing. That's what Wizards wants. If you want to play D&D, you have to go to D&D Beyond. They want to funnel everybody there, which is one of the reasons they want to kill third-party publishers. I don't think it has to, it's not that, look, the competition is like, it's not that they want a slice of the money, I don't think. It's they want there to be like nobody else that's really able to create new content so that everybody goes to D&D Beyond. It's not the whole royalties scheme and wanting to take royalties. That was misdirection. That was part of their anchoring technique that I talked about earlier in the stream. So I don't think that was ever actually their goal. They just want to shut down third-party publishers completely so that everybody has to go to one D&D or go to D&D Beyond. Do you think that this open game license could be a problem for the Baldur's Gate 3 development? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know enough about any of that stuff, nor games and stuff like that, to know anything. So I'm just gonna not comment. Thank you though, Gutenberg, for the $5 super chat. Gambler, thank you for the $5 super chat. Gambler Alex says, your videos have always been funny and great. The skits were the best. What others? Thank you, dude. What other systems do you recommend? And will you still make D&D content? Okay, so there are two questions in there. The first one, so this is my stance on making D&D content. First of all, a lot of the videos I make are mostly system agnostic. You can basically take my game master advice, and whether you're running D&D or Pathfinder or Genesis or Call of Cthulhu or something, a lot of my advice, a lot of the information in my videos can be applied to a variety of game systems. They're not simply for D&D, right? So that's the first thing. Most of them are agnostic anyway. And the second thing is will I continue to make specific advice for D&D 5th edition? Now, there's a couple different answers to that. The first answer is that I script and film my videos like a month or two in advance. And so we have things in the pipeline that have already been scripted, they've been filmed, my editor is already editing them, and they're gonna get pushed through the pipeline. And so you're gonna see those videos, right? Because the cost is extreme if we just scrap everything and come up with a whole new game plan. So that's another answer. And then finally, I know that there are going to be lots of people playing D&D 5th edition. Just because we decide to stop supporting Wizards of the Coast and we cancel our D&D Beyond subscriptions doesn't mean that we're going to stop playing the game. It just means we're going to stop giving them our money, because there's nothing wrong with D&D 5th edition and lots of people are going to continue to play it. And so the question is like, how do I, as a content creator, as someone who makes videos on YouTube, balance the idea of wanting to oppose Wizards of the Coast and what they're doing, but also support all of the game masters and players who still play D&D 5th edition? And so this is the balancing act that I have. If I just take the extreme act of saying no more D&D, I will never talk about D&D ever again, well, you know what, that might impact Wizards of the Coast and it would be a very strong stand on my part, but it's also hurting a lot of the people who still play the game and still want information and resources about D&D 5th edition. And so I don't think that stance is the proper answer, because it still hurts a lot of the people that I love and that I've dedicated the last like 4 years of my life and stuff to helping, and have an entire team as well. Many of them are full-time that like dedicate their time and energy to helping these game masters. So I don't think that's the right answer. Now, ignoring what's going on isn't the right answer. Like if I don't make any videos talking about the horrible things that are going on, that's a bad answer too, because then I'm not taking a stand against evil. And that's wrong. That's morally and ethically void. So I can't do that either. And so I feel like the balance is to be very outspoken and strong in my stance against Wizards of the Coast and what they're doing, but at the same time continue to support game masters who are running D&D 5th edition. So right now, that is my current stance. I literally have a disclaimer in my videos. I think I have one in this live stream. I have disclaimers in all of my videos that explain that stance that I'm taking. I oppose Wizards of the Coast. I do not support them financially. I encourage everybody else to stop supporting them as well. But at the same time, I'm going to continue to support game masters who run D&D 5th edition, because there's still lots of us and there's nothing wrong with the game. There's just something wrong with Wizards of the Coast. So that's the long and short of it. Stud Muffin says, Luke, as a fairly new dungeon master, what is a comparable D20 system to 5e that me and my players can potentially shift to? I mean, I'm not going to stop recommending Pathfinder 2nd edition. I think that, I have the book right here because literally I'm learning this system because I'm going to transition my game to this system. All of my team members, my core team members, Ed and Zach, I know that Ed and Zach have these books now and that they're learning the system. I believe that Sonny and Thomas are probably beginning to learn the system as well. The beautiful thing, by the way, about Pathfinder 2nd edition is that you don't have to buy the books if you don't want to. All of the rules are available for free online. I forget the name of it. There's some sort of archive, the Nexus or Netheril. There's some archive. I forget the exact name of it. Maybe one of my moderators can put a link to it down in the chat. But all of the rules for Pathfinder are free online. You can start playing Pathfinder 2nd edition like right away and not pay a dime because all the rules are out there. Now, I'm gonna buy the books. I literally, my bookshelf now is filled with like almost all of the Pathfinder 2nd edition core books. Like I bought all of them. Like I tweeted about this like a few weeks ago. I just spent like almost $600 on Pathfinder 2nd edition books, and they arrived like a couple days ago. And I think I tweeted out an image I took of all the books that arrived. But anyway, they're on my shelf now, and that's like, yeah. So I'm gonna buy the books. I'm buying the Pathfinder 2 books for two reasons. One, I like physical books. I want the physical book. I love it. It's amazing. Second of all, I want to support Paizo. Like, I think they're doing something really awesome. They're working on the Orc license, which is going to provide a license. My understanding of it is that it's going to be a license that anybody can use. It's going to help you to publish things, and I'm very looking forward to this being released. Paizo has also taken a very public stand against Wizards of the Coast. They've taken a stand to defend the OGL version 1.0a, and they've said that they will take it to court if needed. And so I think that Paizo is doing something extremely admirable. And so I'm going to support them in this effort. Now you might say, well, there are some things they've done at a company that haven't been so good. Yeah, sure. You can say that, and you're probably right. Okay, but for this current thing that we're going through right now, Paizo's stepping up to the plate, and they're putting it all out there, and they're going to help support us from what I can see. And so I want to give them some money too, and that's why I just spent a whole bunch of money on their books. So there's a couple of reasons. Literally I'm going to run it, and then I also want to support a company that I feel is doing good work right now. Zakaman says, would you, Nerd Immersion, D&D Shorts, and others consider a panel stream discussion? I think that would be interesting. I think that could be lots of fun. I think that you would need to have a strong moderator for that. The host and the moderator would have to have some really good chops, because otherwise what you're going to find is everybody talking over each other, and it would be just chaos. I can attest to you that many of us people who do YouTube videos like to talk a lot, and we talk and talk and talk and talk, and not all of us necessarily give other people the floor and stuff. So I feel like you would need to have a strong moderator who can make sure that everybody has their chance to talk and say stuff, and you'd have to coordinate it a little bit where everybody on board understands that, okay, you make your point, you say your thing, but you need to also let other people make your point. So I think that could be really cool and offer a lot of different perspectives and be a great conversation. I just want to say that you need to have a strong moderator that can handle a lot of people with big voices and opinions so that it isn't pure chaos. That's probably my caveat to that. Okay, my dog needs to go outside. So I'm going to show you the sponsor of today's video, which is an amazing Kickstarter that is live now. Now, if you're looking for hundreds of beautifully illustrated monsters that you can use at your gaming table and at a fraction of the price of unpainted minis, the RPG Essentials Kickstarter offers exactly what you need. RPG Essentials offers a new perspective on fantasy gaming minis. These acrylic top-down tokens are durable, portable, and at a great price on Kickstarter right now. Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones. Immersive and dynamic gameplay has never been easier. Bring every encounter to life. Enjoy more engaging and tactical combat. Fill your dungeons, forests, caves, and cities. You no longer have to use coins or buttons or M&Ms to represent creatures in your games. RPG Essentials has monsters for every adventure. All tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different equipment or colors. They are beautifully illustrated on durable flat acrylic, so they are easy to store and carry. Again, all at a fraction of the price of standard minis. Monsters include 10 types of dragons, each in 4 sizes, hordes of goblins, orcs, kobolds, gnolls, and lizard folk, undead skeletons of all kinds, plus zombies, ghouls, and vampires, dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts, giant sea monsters, subterranean terrors, common animals, mounts, reptiles, and insects, NPCs, villagers, warriors, casters, and heroes from tons of different heritages, elementals, fae, and fiends, legendary giants, pretty much every creature you need for your adventures. Bring your games to life with 1,000 plus acrylic monsters, heroes, and NPCs cut to shape for easy and immersive use in your tabletop RPGs. Stunning tokens that are long-lasting, portable, vibrant, and perfectly priced. Back the RPG Essentials Kickstarter today. I know I'm about to. You might consider doing so as well. Okay, let's get this. All right, dog has been taken outside. All right, keep working through the super chats. So Ptah Matt, I want to tell you, Ptah Matt, PTAH Matt. I'm just going to tell you, dude. Every time I see your name, I want to say Fat Matt. Bro, like my brain is like mixing around the letters and it just wants to read Fat Matt. And just if that somehow slips out, I apologize. Anyway, thank you for the $5 super chat. Given the Wizards of the Coast market share, could this be considered monopolistic, anti-competitive behavior? So Department of Justice could step in. You know, I'm not like an expert on those things. You know, I just don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't, or even as a layman, I don't know a whole lot about those things. Maybe, because they definitely want to kill everybody else so that nobody else can have a stake or whatever in the RPG arena. But then you can say that it's like D&D is their brand. It's like their IP and stuff. So like, you know, if they try to make it so nobody else can publish D&D, like, you know, it's kind of like, let's pretend that, let's go back to the hamburger analogy, you know, Five Guys makes amazing hamburgers, you know, and let's pretend that like other people are copying their way of making hamburgers. What if Five Guys wants to stop other people from making hamburgers their way? People can still make hamburgers, but it can't be the way that Five Guys makes them, you know? Like, is that an antitrust thing? Is that a monopoly thing? You know, or is it just you can't use Five Guys, like, you know, their like exact recipe and methodology of making hamburgers, right? Like you can still make hamburgers, like you can still make RPGs, role-playing games and stuff. You just can't use D&D, you know, that's the question. And my gut tells me that they probably have the right to like not let other people use like their brand and stuff, you know, except that we have the Open Gaming License version 1.0a which when it was instituted was designed to be irrevocable and perpetual and permanent, that they could never take it away. So they voluntarily in 23 years ago gave us the right to use their IP as it exists in the SRD that was released with it. So they voluntarily gave us the right to produce it, and now they're trying to take it away. So that's the legal thing, right? That's the legal question. You know, can they unauthorize it, revoke it? And most people say no, they can't. It's crazy, they can't. But they're going to still try. They're still going to try. Squeaky is back. I know Squeaky. Jacob Sharp, thank you for the $10 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. I want to let you know that I watched all your videos and you've been the person who has made me the dungeon master I am today. I don't think I could be the same person even without you and your content. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I love hearing that what my team and I do is impactful. It's always appreciated to hear it, dude. Thank you. Aaron Cruz, thank you for the $5 super chat. Physical books are the coolest. Did you know if you open the DMG in the center, you open it to Magullatums? Oh yeah, sweet. Tommy Kratz says, are you going to try Black Flag? Listen, Cobalt Press is an amazingly good publisher. Their Tome of Beasts books are top notch. The probability of my backing their Kickstarter is like 100%. I'm almost assuredly gonna back Black Flag. You see, this is the interesting thing. I always want to say Black Staff. For whatever reason, I want to say Black Staff. Every time I hear Black Flag, my brain thinks Black Staff. So I'm probably gonna misspeak it sometimes. But I bet you that Black Flag as a game system is going to be amazing, because it's Cobalt Press and everything they put out that I've seen really has just been very, very solid. So I'm pretty confident that Black Flag is going to be really good too. So I'll back it. I'll absolutely back it and get the book and stuff. You know, my dog is sniffing around trying to find food. Now, whether I play it or not, you know, and stuff, that remains to be seen, because I don't have the system yet. I haven't read it and I don't know. You know, I have a feeling that Pathfinder 2 is going to keep my interest for years to come. That's my gut feeling from right now, having started playing it and reading it. But I'll definitely back Black Flag. I swear I can't say Black Flag. That is, they made a tongue twister for me. I'm sure nobody else has that problem, but they made a tongue twister for me personally. What advice do you have for DMs that have a large investment, money, time, and self-made content into D&D Beyond, and several campaigns saved there? Any easy ways to remove everything? I don't know if there's an easy way to remove everything. I really don't know. I can tell you that I also have time and money invested in D&D Beyond. I bought a whole bunch of the books and content on D&D Beyond, and I've been subscribing for a long time. Not anymore. I canceled it last week. So I'm in the same boat as you. I'll tell you what I did. I didn't give a flying crap. I canceled my subscription and I'm not using D&D Beyond anymore. And I told my players in my Patreon game, guys, you know, I've canceled it. I don't know what the impact is going to be to our game. But here's what you should do. You should download PDFs of your characters and be prepared to roll physical dice. And we're playing online. We're playing online. We use Roll20. And I just told them, just be prepared to use physical dice. That's probably what we're going to have to do. So we'll play online and they'll have character sheets, probably physical ones, and they'll roll physical dice. And that's how we'll play the game. So, and I have all the books. I'll just use the books. You know, it's not that big of a deal. I'll just basically, we'll have a virtual tabletop, Roll20, and we'll have videos so we can see each other. But everything else will be mostly the same as running a game in an actual game table. And so you see that's sunk cost fallacy is what that is. When you say, look, I've spent $600 or $1,000 and I have time and energy invested in this thing, you know, like the sunk cost fallacy is where you're like, well, I can't leave it now because I've spent so much time and money on it. Right. But like I said before, you know, all it takes for evil to win is for good people to do nothing. And that's a quote from a famous person who I can't remember who it was because, yeah, brain. But if you believe that what they're doing is evil, then any good and righteous person who believes that what they're doing is evil and unconscionable and unethical and immoral, it is our duty to take a stand and to speak and make our voices heard in any way at all, and I feel that is canceling your D&D Beyond subscription, not buying any more products from them, and then figuring things out going forward, and is that going to impact your games and make things more difficult? It probably will in my case, but I am taking the stand. I'm doing what I can to help fight the good fight for the entire community who is being affected by this reprehensible decision that they're going through with. Scott Grant, what about DM's Guild? Can I submit to you instead? I mean, yes and no. We have writers that write content for us. We have a small team of writers that literally write content for us. But I'm going to be very, very, very honest with you. We are extremely picky. We work with like top-notch writers on our team. So there's always a chance that we're going to be looking for more writers in the future, and that will open up applications and stuff like that. But we're picky. You need to have an established portfolio, and we're going to judge you. We're going to look at your portfolio. We honestly, we don't really care about your resume or your experience or anything. We're going to look at your actual writing. What is your portfolio? And then you're going to do some trials with us as well. We give you a few trial assignments to see what you can actually do, because sometimes people's portfolios misrepresent their actual skill, because a lot of times when we get portfolios, it's the final product that was published here or there or whatever. And the reality is that anything you see published anywhere, the writer wrote it and then editors helped edit it. It might have gone back to the writer for revisions, and then editors worked on it, and there's an entire review and editing process that happens, so that what the writer originally turns in gets improved significantly before it gets published. I had one of my friends, I forget who it was. It was either Alan from the Dungeon Coach or Bob from Bob World Builder. One of them, I forget who it was telling me that they had a writer who had written for, I think they had content that was literally in one of Wizards of the Coast books, if I remember correctly. And this person was trying to write for them as well, for one of my friends. And it was either Bob World Builder or Dungeon Coach. I can't remember which one it was. And the writing that they submitted was not very good at all, And so the thing is that I guess what I'm trying to get at is there's always a chance you could write for me or for somebody else, right? But just be aware that like you at least on my team, you're going to be evaluated based upon your ability to write. And how good you're at doing it. And you need to be enjoyable to work with too, because if we have to fight with you back and forth every day, like if we ask for revisions and you don't want to do it and we have to fight with you, my project managers will let me know that there's some issues, so there's always a chance. And honestly, you never know too, because if Wizards of the Coast takes a financial hit from this debacle, they might have to get rid of some of their people. That's an unfortunate circumstance, because the executives are the ones to blame here, and there might be collateral damage. Good, honest people who actually love D&D who end up getting hurt by this, And so I was telling my team the other day, like, wouldn't it be awesome if we could, if that actually happens, and some people at Wizards of the Coast, because Wizards of the Coast just takes a hit financially if they have to let go some of their writers, wouldn't it be awesome if we could see if some of them could write for us? Like, wouldn't that be amazing to help people who are affected by Wizards of the Coast debacle here, that we could like bring them on our team or something? So I was just kind of like floating that idea of like, wouldn't that be really cool? So there's always, you never know what the future could hold. There's always a possibility, Indiana Wright, thank you for the $5 super chat. My question though was the original, i.e. the 2001 OGL ever set down in legally binding form? That is my real concern about all of this. I probably don't understand exactly what you're asking, but if you're talking about the OGL version 1.0a, that one is set down in legally binding form and it exists out there. If you're referencing a previous one, that I'm really not familiar with that, I suppose, and probably can't answer your question. So that's the best I can give you. I'm sorry. The Prodigy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Wizard of the Coast wants to monetize D&D more outside of books and virtual tabletop. How do you believe they should do it acceptably for the community? You know, the thing is there's a way to make money without screwing people over. That's all I want. You know, like, I don't have a problem with companies wanting to make money because that's the reason the company exists. Like, a company needs to make money so that they can create the products and services that their customers want, and so that they can pay the people that work for them. Like, a company needs to make money. If my company didn't make money, I couldn't pay payroll. I couldn't make payroll. I couldn't pay the writers and cartographers that work for us. You know, I couldn't pay for my personal expenses. Like, a company has to make money. I don't fault a company that wants to make money. The thing is that you need to go about doing it in an ethical way, in a way that doesn't like hurt other people, that doesn't step on their rights and try to do things unlawfully. That's the thing. There's nothing wrong with trying to improve your company and making more revenue. There's nothing wrong with an individual trying to improve themselves, trying to further their career and trying to get a promotion or something like that. Like, most people want to better their circumstances. I think we can all agree with this. Some of us have crappy jobs and we wish we had better jobs. And many of us are working toward getting better jobs, right? Some of us run businesses and we're trying to increase revenue so that we can expand the business and do more things and serve more people and create other products that people will enjoy. Bring more people on the team, you know, help provide a livelihood and income to more people, you know. And so most people in this world want to improve their circumstances and better their lives, whether you're running a business or whether you're an individual, you know, who works for a business. We all want to improve ourselves in one way or another, you know. And I don't fault anybody for that. I don't fault a business for that. I don't fault individuals for that, you know. The thing is, though, that you need to do it ethically and morally, right? In such a way that doesn't hurt other people. And that's the real problem here, is that Wizards of the Coast is going about doing it in a way that's hurting other people right now. And so, welcome to the stream, Squeaky. Squeaky has returned. We'll see how long he lasts before he gets kicked off the desk again. So, if they want to make books, if they want to make a virtual tabletop, if they want to make movies and all of these things to monetize their brand and make more money, like, most of us are trying to improve ourselves, but they need to do it in an ethical way. And so a way that doesn't step on other people's rights. You know, that's the real answer. Now the devil is in the details. You know, what is the actual way to do it that's acceptable and that is moral and ethical? You know, I think we can agree that what they're doing right now with the OGL is not moral and ethical, and it's probably unlawful. It is unlawful. You know, it's definitely in bad faith. Hi, Squeaky. So they need to do it in an ethical way. Like, if they want to make money and monetize their brand, spectacular. Almost everybody in this world wants to improve their circumstances. Great. But you got to do it in the right way. You know, I think we've all probably in our careers and jobs worked with people who have backstabbed us and they have played nasty to get ahead, you know, to get that promotion over you. You know, they've gossiped about you behind your back. They've made you look bad to your boss and they've accused you of things you didn't do. We probably all experienced that sort of thing, you know, and that's unethical and that's immoral. You know, and that's essentially what Wizards is doing. They're playing super, super dirty right now to get ahead, you know, and that's wrong. Puppet Masters said, thank you for the 350 super chat. I appreciate that, dude. They say not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. Yes, doing nothing is a decision you make, right? So like, if you do nothing, you've decided to do nothing. Inaction is a decision you've made. Like, there are some people that are not being very outspoken about this. There are some people that have platforms that could talk more about this and say actual meaningful stuff, you know, and they're deciding not to. They're deciding to sit it out. You know, everybody has to make a decision, you know, and everybody's decision is their own to make. Whether you want to fight back, whether you want to take whatever actions you decide to, it's your decision to make, you know. But we do need to be cognizant that every decision, even one of inaction, is a decision. And if you choose to sit it out, well, then you're sitting it out. House Frey. Anybody who's watched Game of Thrones or read the books will know that House Frey was known as the noble house that basically sat things out. They let the other houses have their wars and conflicts and their little political intrigue stuff, and House Frey would sit there and watch. And then when a clear winner began to emerge, House Frey would align with that winner, right? Because they didn't want to lose, and so they played it safe by sitting it out and just watching and seeing what would happen. So I feel like there are probably going to be people that sit it out, and I think that's sad. And I wish that people would take a stand one way or another. If you support it, be outspoken. If you don't support it, be outspoken. You should follow your heart and your mind and let people know where you stand. And I don't know, I wish people would take a side and not play the role of House Frey. I understand and recognize at the same time that certain people have legal things that are binding them up and stopping them from doing certain things. Some people are in that boat. I feel like other people are not in that boat, and they're making a decision to sit it out, and I think that is unfortunate, but there's a whole bunch of people that are not sitting it out. And that is one of the things that is really cool about all of this, how Wizards of the Coast and their stupidity has managed to make like the vast majority of the RPG D&D community like coalesce and join forces against them in this respect. And I think that is super cool. Gerald says, does boycotting Wizards of the Coast to you also mean not seeing the movie when it comes out? Yep. I'm not watching that movie. And I like Chris Pine too, because I'll tell you what, man, the Star Trek, they did like what, 2 or 3 Star Trek movies? 2 of them for sure. They were masterpieces. The most recent Star Trek movies were so good. Like the casting was so good. The plot and the story, everything about those movies was a masterpiece. And I think Chris Pine, his role was just like, oh my gosh, it was so good. Now whether that's how he is as a person or whether he's just a really good actor, you never quite know, right? It's kind of like if you look at Jennifer Aniston, any movie that she's in, she's the exact same person every time. That's just who she is as a person. She's not really acting, she's just being herself. Now, I don't know if that's true of Chris Pine or not, but he did Captain Kirk so stinking well. It was just nuts. So I have a feeling he's probably gonna do a good job in the D&D movie too. I'm not gonna watch it. I have a company that wanted to sponsor a video for me, and they were saying, we're gonna give you a bunch of money. When you do a D&D movie video, we want to sponsor it, and give you a bunch of money to talk about our product and stuff on it. And I flat out told them, hey, the chances are very, very probable that I am not going to do a video on the D&D movie, as part of my stance against Wizards of the Coast, So, I mean, I'm going to leave some money on the table and walk away from that because I'm not going to give them any more press and help support their movie and stuff, Alex, thank you for the $1 super chat, dude. I really appreciate that. All right, I got through all the super chats. I can go to all the other questions now. What does this mean for Adventurers League play and game shops? Will we have to subscribe to D&D Beyond? I mean, I don't think Wizards of the Coast cares about game shops. I don't think they care about game shops, you guys. I think I will say though that the majority of game shops that I'm aware of make most of their money from Magic the Gathering. Like selling Magic the Gathering MTG cards was where they get like 80 to 90% of their revenue. That's my understanding from many game shops. So I'm sure they sell D&D books. They probably sell the alt covers a lot, which probably helps them. Like right now, like one of the main ways to get the alt covers is through game shops, right? And so is there going to be an impact to game shops bottom line when they transition only to D&D Beyond and I believe stop selling physical books, yeah, that'll impact game shops. But do you think Wizards of the Coast cares about game shops? Do you really think that they care? They don't care about local game shops. They want all the revenue to go to them directly through the online platform digital D&D Beyond. They don't care about their impact to game shops. Come on. They're trying to put all of the publishers out of business right now. Do you really think they care about game shops, dude? They don't care. MC Tasman says a cat has a quack cat question. Recently, a kitty has moved into our house, so they have a cat now. But the hierarchy hasn't been settled yet. Tips. The hierarchy? What? So your cat thinks it's boss? And like you're not boss? I mean, I don't know. Dude, I don't think I am qualified to give you tips for helping to settle the hierarchy of cats, because I think we can all see right now that the hierarchy is clearly my cat is in charge and does pretty much what he wants when he wants. There's nothing I can really do about it. So I don't think I'm qualified. Just be nice to your kitty, love your kitty, you know, get premium food. Don't give them the cheap garbage food from the store. Get premium food, because they put a lot of garbage in some of this food, you guys, and it's not good for our animals. Mine obviously likes to eat. we get very expensive food for them. My players are sailing to another country. What could happen? I'm just bored of another Kraken or Storm. You want to have points of interest, basically. Do I have a video that talks more about that? I think I have a video that talks about my point of interest system on my channel. In a couple months or so, we're gonna be coming out with a hex crawl video that kind of talks about points of interest as well. But you need to develop some other things that happen besides a Kraken and a Storm, basically. You know, and that's just a creativity question on your part. I don't do crowdsourcing of creativity. You know, I don't like to give people specific ideas because I want you to exercise your own imagination, but you need to just think of something and be more creative is what it comes down to. And I know that's not very helpful. I know I didn't give you an answer, but that's intentional because I don't want to crowdsource creativity questions, because I feel like we as game masters, you know, like need to like use our imaginations and think and in a way figure this stuff out. But if you're stuck, go to my Discord, join my Discord, and there's lots of people there that will help you, and people that are not going to be as cruel and heartless as I just was. Please bring Squeaky back on screen just for a moment. There you go. He's right there. What's up? Okay, I need to go bio really quick. So I'm gonna throw up our sponsor of today's video. Check this out. You might find this useful. Now, if you're looking for hundreds of beautifully illustrated monsters that you can use at your gaming table and at a fraction of the price of unpainted minis, the RPG Essentials Kickstarter offers exactly what you need. RPG Essentials offers a new perspective on fantasy gaming minis. These acrylic top-down tokens are durable, portable, and at a great price on Kickstarter right now. Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones. Immersive and dynamic gameplay has never been easier. Bring every encounter to life. Enjoy more engaging and tactical combat. Fill your dungeons, forests, caves, and cities. You no longer have to use coins or buttons or M&Ms to represent creatures in your games. RPG Essentials has monsters for every adventure. All tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different equipment or colors. They are beautifully illustrated on durable flat acrylic, so they are easy to store and carry. Again, all at a fraction of the price of standard minis. Monsters include 10 types of dragons, each in 4 sizes, hordes of goblins, orcs, kobolds, gnolls, and lizard folk, undead skeletons of all kinds, plus zombies, ghouls, and vampires, dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts, giant sea monsters, subterranean terrors, common animals, mounts, reptiles, and insects. NPCs, villagers, warriors, casters, and heroes from tons of different heritages. Elementals, fae, and fiends, legendary giants, pretty much every creature you need for your adventures. Bring your games to life with 1,000 plus acrylic monsters, heroes, and NPCs cut to shape for easy and immersive use in your tabletop RPGs. Stunning tokens that are long-lasting, portable, vibrant, and perfectly priced. Back the RPG Essentials Kickstarter today. I know I'm about to. You might consider doing so as well. Oh, I stopped talking. So there was a question in the chat about whether the artwork is covered by acrylic and not layered on top to get scratched up. That's a great question. I wonder if they address that over on the page for the Kickstarter. Let's see, they're doing really well too right now. FAQs. I wonder if they talk about that, because that's a good question. Oh, it doesn't say that right there. You know what? I'm gonna leave a comment. I'm gonna leave a comment and see if he responds. I'm sure he'll respond to me. What was the comment? Oh, I backed it. I literally backed this project. So that's why I can leave comments. The comment from the chat is the artwork covered by the acrylic so that it won't get scratched up? There we go. Is the artwork covered by the acrylic so that it won't get scratched up? By acrylic. By the acrylic layer. By the acrylic layer. I assume that it is. That's my assumption. I'm just gonna post that and then we'll see. I don't think we're gonna get an answer right now. But you can. I'm sure Daryl is gonna answer us eventually. So you can go see the answer to your question like at some point. I'm sure. So there you go. Let's see if I can get you an answer for that. Are you actually bald in real life? No. Do I look bald? Do I look bald, dude? This isn't a wig or something. This is real hair. You know, like it doesn't come off. I'm gonna sneeze. This is gonna be bad. It might be going away. Gretchen, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. Thanks for the awesome work. Watching with my kitty. Nice. Look at Squeaky. Squeaky, what are you doing down there? Squeaky. Let's see, you ask why I have all these cameras. This is why. Gretchen's watching with her cat. Have found my local library a great resource looking for D&D alternatives such as Pathfinder or D&D modules without having to pay Wizards of the Coast. Sweet. Yes, that's awesome. Go to your libraries. They might have the games, right? And by the way, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you can get it 100% free online. All of the rules are online for you to use. It's amazing. Jeffrey Hull, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, game stores can't sell unlicensed product without losing their ability to sell licensed product. I tried selling at local store and can't. Oh. So, what, Squeaky? You big baby? I don't care. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know how that works because I literally, there are 2 game stores that, 3 of them, I think, actually. There, for my last Kickstarter, Layers and Legends, they reached out to me and they're like, Luke, we want to carry your book in our store. You know, is there a retail tier for Layers and Legends? And so I worked out a retail tier for them so that they basically get my books at half price so that they can then retail them at their store. And so they're carrying my book in their store. And my book isn't like officially licensed or anything, but they're doing it anyway. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. I wonder. There's always a part of me. Remember, Jeff, that not everything everybody tells you is always true. So without me knowing how that actually works, it's worth considering if that was the reason, that was the excuse you were given, so that they wouldn't have to just turn you down and say no to you. Because like anytime you say no to someone, their initial response is gonna be, well, why not, right? And it's easier to just have a reason like, oh, it's not official, therefore we can't carry it, than having to tell you something that might hurt your feelings or something. You know what I mean? And so I can't speak to that. I'm just throwing out an idea that's worth considering because I don't know how it actually works. All right, we are through all of the super chats and a lot of the questions too. We have a giveaway going on, folks. If you want to get a copy of Into the Fae, which is the very first Kickstarter that my team and I did, you get that if you win the giveaway. And we're also giving away DM Lair store credit, where you can get lots of cool stuff, such as back issues of Lair magazine. We have rules supplements too that we've put out, such as naval combat rules. You can get that on the DM Lair store. Also, I haven't done an official announcement on this, but our last Kickstarter, Layers and Legends, it's now available on the DM Lair store as well. The PDFs of it, like the digital content, is available now. Because our backers have already gotten their digital stuff, and so now we're offering it to everybody else who might want to get Layers and Legends. So that's on our DM Lair store as well. Now, for backers who are getting physical books, that is progressing very, very well. Our printers are working on the printing right now. I'm still holding out hope that they will print it before the Chinese New Year, and that we're going to be able to get things underway a little bit quicker, but it might not happen until afterwards. But that's all going very, very well. So you're going to have, we're looking at April for fulfillment for the physical books right now, and that's a done, locked in deal for sure. I still have a little bit of hope that we can get it earlier, but that's just me hoping. Probably no basis in reality, but there's always a hope, right? Could we have a stream where we just talk about D&D and not focus on the OGL? Well, at some point we probably will, but right now there are important developments and stuff that like we need to talk about because people need to be informed about things, and people have questions about it too. And so there's going to be lots of time, and we've been having Q&As to talk about D&D for years, right? And now there's something that threatens something that we love and threatens a lot of people's livelihoods and careers and people's businesses. And so if we don't talk about it, I feel like we're doing a disservice by not like helping to people to understand and getting the word out and stuff like that. And so it's just a disservice if we don't, and you might complain and say, well, all the videos out there right now are about the OGL and all this stuff. Yeah, it is. Isn't that unfortunate? Isn't that unfortunate? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we didn't have to make videos about all of this horrible stuff that's going on? I would love that. It's exhausting. You guys, it's exhausting. Do you think I want to have to talk about this crap? Do you think I want to have to like make extra videos that talk about this stuff to raise wouldn't it be easier for me to just go back to how I had a process, I had a system, my team and I were doing great, and now everything's getting shaken up, and it's introducing a bunch of extra work and stress and stuff on us. Like, do you really think that that's how we want to live? No. And I want things to go back to normal. I want to just do helpful videos that help people. I'm not, people who think that I'm just trying to like get views and attention by talking about this topic are completely mistaken. Okay. I have for years done videos that don't get a ton of views because they're not on the hot button topics, and there are lots of other channels that get crazy tons of views because of the nature of the videos they make. And I leave all that on the table because I want to make videos that are helpful and useful to people. Right now, I'm talking about this because I see a severe threat to a game that we all love. And so I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to answer people's questions, and we still have videos coming out that have nothing to do with it. I'm not transitioning the entire channel to talking about this overnight. Like I said, I still have videos in the pipeline. There's going to be a video coming out on Saturday that has nothing to do with the OGL thing. It's just a video that's going to be about D&D and how you can, do games as a game master. We're going to keep doing those videos. But if we don't talk about this, we're doing a massive disservice to this horrible thing that's going on right now. So it's important to talk about this stuff. And for anybody, if it gets exhausting, then just peace out. It's fine. It's understandable. Like, you can't think about negative news all the time. You get overloaded and you burn out and you crash and burn. So go somewhere that's more positive. Nobody will blame you, because we all want to live in a more positive place right now. Gameron, $5. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Gameron says, having worked and managed in retail, Luke is exactly right. Cool, thank you. I'm not sure exactly what I'm exactly right about. I've said a few different things about it. Gameron, if you're able to clarify what particular thing, that would be useful, just for my own knowledge, I suppose. Are you planning on publishing content for Pathfinder 2nd Edition? Thank you, Christopher, for the $2 super chat. Well, this is what we're planning on doing. So right now, my team and I we're working under the premise of assuming the worst, so that we can prepare for it. So right now, in order so that we can come up with a plan going forward that allows us to continue publishing, we are assuming that Wizards of the Coast is going to try, or that they will unauthorize OGL version 1.0a and not let people publish under it. And that if you continue to do so, you could be facing legal action by Wizards of the Coast. So we're going to assume the worst, which means that we're not going to continue. We can't publish under 1.0a going forward. At some point, the gauntlet will fall down and we'll have to stop. So we're assuming the worst is going to happen, which that's pretty much the worst. So under that premise, then what do we do in response? And so my team and I talked about this at a team meeting Tuesday, and we were like, okay, look, we have to get away from the OGL. You have to. You're not going to be able to rely upon it. We have to divorce our publications from using the OGL. Okay, so the question then is, how can we continue to publish things that can be used by our current patrons and people who use our products, that run D&D 5th edition, so we have to publish stuff without using the OGL. And so right now, my team and I are putting together we're calling it the D20 variable system. It's not a new game system. It is a way for us to be able to publish resources that are compatible with 5th edition, but that allows us to also publish them without using the OGL. And we're working on developing how exactly we can do that. We have to float the ideas by our legal representative as well, who they're the law firm that helped come up with the original OGL. Their specialty is in intellectual property and stuff, and so they're going to be able to help us to determine whether our D20 variable system is going to be good or what kind of tweaks we have to make it. So we're coming up with a mechanism that's going to allow us to keep publishing the content that our patrons and other customers use without using the OGL. And so that's the bottom line of what our team is doing going forward. And we're calling it the D20 variable system, but again, it's not a new game system. It's just a way for us to publish without the OGL so that things are compatible with systems that people use. Now, getting back to your question, are you planning on publishing content for Pathfinder 2nd edition? Our long-term goal, our short-term goal is to be able to implement the D20 variable system so that we can publish stuff that's compatible with 5th edition. That's our short-term goal right away, because all of our current patrons and customers use 5th edition, play 5th edition. That's our short-term goal. Our long-term goal is to be able to start making what we publish also usable for other game systems, such as Pathfinder 2nd edition. That's why we're calling it the D20 variable system. So you can use that content for different systems, whether it's 5th edition, whether it's Pathfinder 2nd edition. We're trying to make it so that you can make little adjustments here and there, and we'll have a guide that explains how to do those adjustments. so that you can use what we publish for different game systems. That's the idea. That's like the basis and the foundation of the idea that my team and I are had, and that we're trying to implement right now. We're working on implementing it. We're actually trying to do it pretty quickly. And we've floated this by our legal representative this morning, and then we're going to start having conversations. So that's what we're attempting to do right now. That's our game plan. Now, well, we're gonna have to see what our lawyer says, right? Our hopes and dreams might get smashed, and we might have to go back to the drawing board. I don't know, right? But that's what we're attempting to do, because we have to assume the worst and figure out a path going forward that's going to allow us to be able to exist as a company. Yeah, there's your answer. What would you do if you were in charge of Wizards active immediately? If I were in charge of Wizards of the Coast right now, I would probably do something that would get me fired from Wizards of the Coast. The board of directors would probably fire me. If I were in charge, I would fire every single person who had any hand at all in this OGL thing. The people that want to deauthorize the OGL and kill other content creators, every single one of them that had a hand at all in it are gone. They're gone. They're gone. Like, that's what I would do immediately. Like, okay, you, and you, you're gone. You're out of here. You're out of here. You're gone. Goodbye. Thank you. Have a nice day. Now, there are lots of other people there that probably know about it, that didn't really have any hand in it. They're fine. I'm not, but that's the first thing. I would want to have people running. I am not qualified to run a company of that size, right? And so I would need to have people that are qualified to be able to run that company. But I would look for people who are qualified and who also love D&D, who have actually played it before too. Now, I don't think that probably would not accomplish Hasbro's goals for making a bunch of money. It would probably not fall in line with their their business strategy. And so the board of directors would probably fire me eventually, because I'm not showing them the money. Basically, I wouldn't be showing them the money. What I would be doing is I would be thinking more about how can we give the fans of D&D what they want. How can we do right by them and help to create an awesome game for them, and an awesome game experience, and how can we do right by our previous commitments to the OGL version 1.1 and continue to support third-party publishers and content creators who make a living from this, and how can we balance all of our different needs to make sure that we're acting ethically and morally, that we're being responsible, we're being good stewards of the company that we have to manage, but at the same time we're not screwing people over. Now that's going to mean that we don't make as much money, absolutely, but there's a happy path in there, a way that you can make people happy and do the right thing, and not be a sleazy bastard. There's a happy path in there, and I would probably try to strike that. I don't know the details of that, but I can tell you that one of my first actions would probably be to fire every sleazebag who was behind this idea of deauthorizing the OGL version 1.0A. How do we enter the giveaway? There's a link in the chat. One of my moderators will put it down there for you. You literally just click it and then it tells you what to do. Diabolical DM. What's up, dude? They say I was fortunate to get a hard copy of Into the Fae at the first LairCon. Sweet. Oh, you were one of the winners. We were giving it away. Nice. What was your favorite NPC while writing this module? My favorite NPC? I don't know. There were lots of NPCs in there. There are a lot of them that come to mind. I don't know what my favorite NPC was. I mean, there was the hag at the end who was behind it all, and I don't even remember I don't remember all of their names either. I have some of them I have images in my mind, So I don't know. I don't know what my favorite NPC was. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you, dude. I'm sorry. Stud Muffin says, Luke, I know you've mentioned leading youth at your church. I just started doing that. I just started getting involved in the youth group at my church. I mean, I've done like youth stuff at my church like in previous years, but there was a break I took as well, and now recently I just got involved again. How has incorporating D&D worked with both the kids and the staff at your church for the appearance of D&D in the church? I mean, we literally have a lock-in coming up this Friday, tomorrow, where the way a lock-in works is you go there, they lock the doors, and you are there all night, and you play games and stuff. And I'm going to be running a D&D game. I'm actually going to be, okay, so I have a game system that I started to kind of create probably 2 years ago. I've just dubbed it RPG Light. I started to create this a couple of years ago because one of the people when I had a full-time job working for a company. I mean, I have a full-time job, I run my business now, but when I worked for a company, I was on a team of people, and one of the guys was having a birthday party, and he said, Luke, I want you to run D&D for us. But none of them have really played D&D before. So I knew that if I tried to show them all the complex rules, that it would just not really work very well for like a one-shot for people who've never played before. And so I developed a really light, easy game system that I could teach them in like 5 minutes, and then we could run a fantasy role-playing game in the similar vein of D&D. And so I began kind of conceptualizing this, and I ran the game for them, and it worked really well. It was very simple. And so now for the church's lock-in that I'm going to be running D&D at tomorrow, I know that like I'm going to have kids that have never played before, and if I give them full-blown character sheets and try to explain the rules, it's not going to work. They might be a little bit confused and stuff, blah, 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 whatever. And so you know what? This is probably a good time to flesh my system out a little bit more so that they can just run this system. And it's a very, very easy system. I'm not going to talk about the details right now. I'm still kind of working through it and stuff. But the idea of this system is that like it's gonna take up like 2 or 3 pages, maybe. That's it. It's literally, there's a name, I call it RPG Light, because it's very, very simple system that you can teach people in 5 minutes, and then you can run a fantasy role-playing game and have fun and tell a story together and just, you know, enjoy yourselves, you know, without having the burden of all of these like heavy rules and stuff. And so I'm going to be running that. Now your question was, so this is going to be the first time that I've run D&D though there, you know, but nobody at my church has a stigma against D&D or anything like that. That doesn't exist in my church. So I'm not concerned about that at all. Ren Man, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ren says, bruh, breathe, relax, and trust that the party, the community, will slay Tiamat, Wizards of the Coast. They'll realize they can't control those who speak with one voice. That's my hope, man. That's why we're going to fight the fight, buddy. Can you mention the charity and post a link? Yes, let's talk about the charity. So let me go to their site, and then we're going to talk about the charity that I'm supporting right now. Where is it? One More Child. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go over here. So can you put a link to the charity down below, please? It's called One More Child. I'm gonna go to their webpage right here. So basically, One More Child. So this is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. Every single stream, what I do is I try to raise money for a charity. Our goal is always $500. When we get to $500, we make the donation and we pick a different charity to raise money for. Right now, we're raising money for One More Child. We've raised money for them back in the past. And basically what they do, they provide services to vulnerable Christian children and struggling families. Now, they are a Christian charity. They are Christ-centered and stuff like that. And so just be aware that that's some of the principles and beliefs that they have, which I share, by the way. And what do? Their vision is to bring hope to hurting children. They have orphanages. They help single mothers as well. One of the things, I don't know where it mentions this exactly. It's somewhere on here, our care or something. The anti-trafficking thing. Okay, the anti-trafficking thing that they do right here is why I started supporting these guys to begin with, because I was watching something on YouTube that was talking about some child trafficking that was happening in Florida, and they busted the people, and then there were women that were being affected by it that were like literally rescued from something horrible, I'm sure, that would have happened to them if it hadn't already. And then One More Child was there to help them, you know. And so I learned about them through that. It was like one of those sheriffs comes on and explains what happened and gave his, like, you know, report basically to the public. And I learned about One More Child and what they do for anti-trafficking. And that's the reason I started supporting these guys. Primarily. But then when I came to their website, I learned that they do a whole bunch more stuff. And I was like, oh, cool. They do a lot of cool stuff, you know. And so that's why I support these folks. So anyway, if you want to support what they do, what they help foster for, like, foster children, for orphanages, for anti-trafficking, for single mothers and stuff like that, then you can give a donation as a tip. 100% of all tips will go toward One More Child. When we get to $500, we give a donation, and then we'll pick a new charity. So that's the way that works when we do charities on the stream here. Lord Alathorn, thank you for your $5 tip. I really appreciate that, dude. Okay. I think it's time for us to draw our giveaway winner. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds here. If you have not entered the giveaway yet, we're about to draw the winner. So please go in and join the giveaway if you want. You can win a hard copy of our Into the Fae book, which is a level 1 to 5 adventure module for 5th edition. You'll get a hard copy. I'll mail it to you, and or you can get DM Lair store credit as well. We have a whole bunch of cool stuff on the DM Lair store as well that you can use in your game. So we'll draw the winner to the giveaway in just a couple minutes here. I'm going to give you guys all a last chance to sign up for it if you have not already. Roy Thrasher, thank you for the $25 tip, dude. I really appreciate that. Squeaky. He's down there rolling around. Look at this maniac. What do you want? What? What? Did you guys see him rolling? He was like rolling around. You're being disruptive. Being disruptive. I don't care. You have problems. This guy's going nuts on me. Nobody cares about your problems. Actually, probably not true. Probably lots of you are like, Luke, just give him attention. Pet the poor kitty. What was this? Somebody just left a super chat. They said something about Squeaky. Rudame, thank you for the $5. Squeaky is a hecking chonkosaurus. Squeaky is gigantic, you guys. He weighs like 16 pounds the last time we had him at the vet. He's a big boy. He's gigantic. He likes to eat. Squeaky, you gotta calm it down, buddy. You gotta calm it down. Calm it down. All right, I'm gonna go in here. My cat screams for attention too, just as insistent. Yeah, well, Squeaky, he does this especially when I'm streaming. When I'm in meetings or talking to other people, he does this. He gets jealous and then he'll bother the. He doesn't do this all day long, you guys. He doesn't. Sometimes he does, but most of the day he's pretty calm and just relaxes, you know. But when I'm streaming or when I'm in a meeting talking to other people, he's jealous and he just gets all up in my business. It's what he does. He's a hay bale of fluff called Loaf. That's your cat, Thomas? Yeah. All right, let's draw the winner. Winners. We are drawing the winners now. Okay, drawing the winner. Drawing the winner. Vertical View, thank you for the $2 super chat. Yes, I am a believer. I am a Christian, yes. All right, I think I have the winner here. Let me just double check to make sure the entry is valid, and then we will declare the winner. This name sounds super familiar. I wonder if this person has won before. It's possible. All right, the winner is T-Bird. The YouTube screen name is T-Bird. You have won. Congratulations, dude. I will be sending you an email, and then you can, we'll get you hooked up with all the details of what you won and stuff. So I don't know if you're still here, but you don't have to be to win. Otherwise, congratulations. I mean, congratulations regardless. Terrible Monsters, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I really appreciate that. He says, love what you're doing, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote. We're done. Leaving now. I'm going to go do some more work and stuff. I'll probably get some food because I'm hungry. So thank you for hanging out, everybody. Have a nice, wonderful day. Goodbye now. Where's my button?